Security Todd found this and lost and found for me.
Yeah, Chip gave him a thumbs up. Yeah. Just like Texas Chip. Johnny Cash.
You let me wear this to Aldine's tonight. Okay. Ride a mechanical bull, Whiskey River.
You sign up for that?
You're going to keep it on?
I don't know. I might.
Just go upstairs, jump in the pool.
He's keeping it on for 3 hours. He's not going to do it shirtless. It's not Halloween.
Yeah, Todd, I said, do you want me to bring it back? Because I didn't know. And he was like, yeah, sure. So I guess I got to bring it back.
It's lost and found. Keep it. You never know when you're going to need that.
Yeah.
Should I keep it?
Yes, I mean, you should keep it.
Jeb, should I keep it?
It's a good souvenir.
I think Chip wants to be held responsible for
anyway, this is why I look ridiculous. It was either this or I sweat all over the place.
Well, thank you for not doing that.
All you need is a tip jar and a guitar now. And we've got our Tuesday night content. You're sitting outside.
But honestly, we were just out trying to get good content.
We were.
And I knew it was hot. I just didn't realize it was going to be like that.
A rock star, if he's on the street corner tonight with a tip jar, what song do you think he'd want to sing? You're with him. He always is hitting you up tonight. If you need me, I can sing what? What song is he going to sing tonight if he wanted to sing one?
Ice Ice Baby or Nothing But a G Thing.
Nothing But a G Thing.
Country music, country version of Nothing But a G Thing.
Right.
Or I could do Gin and Juice.
Gin and Juice. I've heard the country version.
Yeah, I have.
Pull that off. You know the words.
Who's our boy?
Do I sing it country or you guys want the rap stuff?
No, I want the country.
No, you'd need
out of you.
In that shirt?
It's so much going on in the LBC. It's kind of hard being me, Mr. LT, but I somehow, some way keep coming.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Day 3 SEC Media Days up here in Nashville, live now for the next 3 hours. Jim Dunaway, Ryan Brown, Lance Taylor, the rest of the crew that's up here in Nashville, Tyler and Rockstar back at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, making sure everything gets out to you guys. We appreciate you being with us live again today. Alabama's day here. It meant people down in the lobby waiting for players to roll in. Nick Saban and several interviews we have out with you guys, but Nick Saban making the rounds today and getting asked some questions he hasn't been asked in a while about how this team could have some cracks in it, how maybe they're not going to be the pick to win the West. So your big take on Nick Saban's roll through here today and some of the answers he's been throwing out.
My big take is I bet Nick Saban loves every minute of that. And I know people think I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. I bet he loves not having a team that is built up as the end-all be-all, that can't be conquered and is unbreakable and is not with any blemish. I bet he loves that. I mean, he has not had that in quite a while at Alabama where he doesn't have to tear his team down a little bit. They're getting torn down already.
I can't really remember. Maybe 2008, his second season.
But
the least expectations for a team going into a season.
Yeah, but in that situation, obviously there was no sort of entitlement because you'd had a bad year the year before. So he didn't have to tear a team down. He was still building a team up. And then from that moment on, to Lance's point, basically from 2008 on, Alabama has been praised throughout the offseason, just about every offseason. And for the first time in a while, it's not just really one, it's two SEC teams where a lot of people are talking about being better than Alabama.
Yeah. So that's part of Nick Saban here today. We'll jump into Alabama's biggest question mark and what Nick had to say about that today as we jump into the show today, brought to you in part by our friends at Hemphill for heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. It's our men at Hemphill.
Yeah. Remember our friends at Hemphill, they're offering 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus free 10-year labor warranty. When you mention the next round, call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. Do it now. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
If you're watching the television show The Bear, the phrase that you hear all the time in there is what, Brownie?
Yes, Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you, Chef.
Kind of wears me out, to be honest with you, though people tell me that's what a legit restaurant is like.
Nick Saban getting a lot of thank you chefs today down in the media room because he says
thank you, Chef.
Alabama's quarterback situation is like baking a cake. If you pull it out of the oven too early, it's mush. You got to cook it just right. The Alabama quarterback battle is still in the oven right now, according to Nick Saban.
Do you think he meditates and thinks about these analogies before he goes on?
I don't know. That's a good one, though. I mean, like, I think every media member and a lot of Bama fans want to know, if I cut that cake open, what kind of cake is it? Is it a Jalen Milroe? Is it a Ty Simpson? Is it a Tyler Buckner?
Yeah.
What kind of cake am I getting when I slice that
I can't believe how unpredictable the quarterback position is.
Like, I was talking to one of our friends from the state of Mississippi, doing an interview with them, and he asked me, and I was like, look, I mean, I can give you an answer, but I do not know the answer. Outside of that football complex, I don't know that anybody knows the answer, and I'm not even certain that football complex knows the answer right now. And you literally could convince me of any of the three. Like, you could sell me on Simpson, you could sell me on Milroe, you could sell me on Buckner. You could sell me on any of those three as the starter against Middle Tennessee, and I'd say, yeah, I could see that.
Or you could say all three of them play
At some point against Middle Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's going to be, I think they're a 40-point favorite in that game. So, I mean, that game ought to be over pretty early, and it is a great opportunity to see. You're kind of trapped in those situations, though. You know, like, you would almost like to see, if you're down to two guys, you like to see them both with the ones. But if you really think one of them's better, the more snaps he can get in real time with the ones, the better off you are against.
Well,
Texas.
how many possessions would you guys guess they'll have?
11 in that game, 12.
Hey, I mean, it's almost, 4 apiece if you could do it.
Yeah, but see, then, to my point, now your starter, whoever your starter is against Texas, has not gotten a ton of live action reps. I mean, Milroe has started one game and played some cleanup. Simpson's done almost nothing.
But that was one game with guardrails.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was one game where his offensive coordinator was like, all right, we're going to send you out there and you're not going to lose this game for us, okay? I'm going to spoon feed you. I'm going to make sure you don't really screw up and lose this game for us.
Which, by the way, may be the game plan this year.
Against everybody?
Everybody.
Well, you better, Kevin Steele's got his work cut out for him then, because I don't know if you remember, but that game plan allowed Texas A&M to have one play to win the game at the end.
It did. So Nick Saban makes his way around. No quarterback, obviously, up here. You have a couple of defensive guys and an offensive lineman. But we were talking of the guys who are here today, and Lunsford brought this point up. How many people roll three guys at the SEC Media Days where you can make a case that all three of them are top 10 picks in next year's NFL draft?
They're the only ones.
Yeah.
I mean, not even Georgia. I mean, I don't think we've ever, we might have seen it with Alabama.
You know what? We looked. Once Lunsford asked, the SEC provides, and some of the stuff they give us here, the historical attendees, and never once has that ever mattered to me. I've seen them do that every year. I'm like, why do I care who was here in 2008? But once Lunsford brought that up, we had a little downtime here between interviews. We started looking, because immediately you go either an Alabama team or that 2019 LSU team. 2019 LSU had Joe Burrow,
Justin Jefferson,
Grant Delpit, who's a good player. You remember Grant Delpit?
Yeah.
And their center, who I can't even say his name anymore. Their center. They didn't send Jamar Chase. They didn't send Justin Jefferson. The best we could find, I think, the best we found on record was, I think it was one of the Bama teams, I think it was 2011, sent Mark Barron, Trent Richardson, and Dante Hightower. That was all first rounders.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you look and you're like, well, that Alabama team had 4 guys drafted in the first round, but they might have sent, a guy that was a third round. I mean, everybody knows our affinity for Barrett Jones on this show, right? Barrett Jones, one of the best college football players in America the year he came. Well, he's a third round draft pick.
That's right.
It just didn't translate to the NFL.
Who did LSU send in 11? Because I think a lot of people forget how good LSU was in 11.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
we had talked about after they destroyed Georgia in the SEC championship game, that if they close the deal against Alabama, they could go down as one of the best, if not the best team in the history of college football.
LSU sent Ryan Baker. You remember why he played?
Nope.
Jordan Jefferson. You remember why he played? And Russell Shepard. Really good receiver.
Russell Shepard was really good.
Yeah.
Underutilized.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just funny. You go back and look at it, Dunaway, and you're like, well, yeah, at the time, like in 2016, Bama sent Jonathan Allen, O.J. Howard, Eddie Jackson. That's a heck of a crew right there, right?
Yep.
And you go back and look at it, and you're like, well, yeah, I mean, they were the best player on the team. It just turned out they didn't get drafted. 2014, Landon Collins, Amari Cooper, those are high draft picks. And then Christian Jones. It just didn't work out for Christian for whatever reason.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, J.C. Latham, and Dallas Turner. Our interviews with them on all of our platforms. I believe Forrester has worked really hard and has them all up for you as we speak right now on our YouTube channel and everything else. Taylor Korn working virtually almost 24 hours a day on content up here in Nashville. And you can follow us on all our social medias. Remember, like, thumbs up, all that, subscribe. We'll get into our night on the town last night coming up after I tell you about our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Leslie, her board certified team can help you. Maybe you got some health issues with blood pressure, cholesterol, or something. Maybe you want to jumpstart your weight loss. All of that can happen with a plan from Way to Wellness. Leslie, her board certified team, no contracts, no sign-up fees, and the first consultation is absolutely free. Just go to the website, aplanforme.com, planforme.com, and check out what they have. No cookie cutter plan. It's a wonderful service. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. So we'll get to the rest of SEC Media Days, and our first guest will be in the next segment. We won't tell you who it is. You've seen it, you know who it is, but we're also going to unveil our 40 and 40 team in the next segment, along with our guest. It sort of will work together here today. But last night, if you will, it started.
Like that movie?
It started. I did love that movie. It started on this show. It really started at 4:00 Central Time on the next round when LT offered a shot of bourbon to Mr. On 3.
That's right.
Sanitary.
And so we all got one, and we started down the road to finishing that bottle. And we sat around with Brandon Marcello for an hour, and we drank and we drank. The bottle was gone. And we got more bourbon from down at the bar, brought it back up. Wine, we had wine, more bourbon from downstairs back up here. And then we took to the streets of Nashville, Ubering, of course, drinking responsibly. And along the way, Taylor wants content.
You talking about the content queen over there,
Yeah.
Taylor Corn?
And all of a sudden, we're in line to get a tattoo.
Right.
And it was going to go right here.
I cannot believe there is a line to get tattoos.
LT, most of them look like bachelorette parties, did they not?
So they were all making sober decisions, right?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, let me just say, I know
Dunaway was.
I was fitting in. My very bachelorette enthusiasm and my alcohol intake had me in line to get a tattoo last night. It didn't work out, and some of you have said that that's a sign from God that I do not need a tattoo.
Yeah, he could have intervened right there.
I would say most in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room would say, let's do it again.
Yeah. See if God was really intervening.
Right.
Yeah.
Play it back. Run
I
it
think
back.
historically in the Bible, testing God was a bad idea, but if you want to do it, go ahead.
I'm not testing God. I just know that if we bring the Redmont vodka out at 4:00, anything can happen tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I will make sure it's here at 4:00.
But one more thing on last night, and you can tell us.
Well, I was just going to say,
other
can we
things you
do
were doing.
can we do a poll question on whether or not you should get a tattoo?
I mean, what do you think
no.
that results in?
I'm making life decisions. I'm not going to leave it up to the audience. One other thing, though, because in your head, and you guys experience this out there, in your head, you do things athletically that you think looks better until you see it on tape, right?
Right.
Your golf swing. Nobody's golf swing in their head thinks it looks the way it does until they look at it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, crap, I look like an old man swinging a golf club. Or, man, I'm really choppy with my golf swing. Or if you're a runner, you think, God, I feel like I'm running really good. And then you look at your run, your stride's all jacked up like Phoebe on Friends. So last night, Taylor convinces me to ride a mechanical bull. Again, I was not getting married. This was not my bachelorette party.
Hey, was it the same place we went yesterday?
It's the place right next to Acme. I can't remember the name. Nashville Underground. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Nashville Underground.
So first off, you have to sign a waiver.
That's right.
And then you pay $10.
That's right.
And then you get on the bull.
And make a fool of you. Get on the bull.
I thought to myself, all right, 8 seconds, right? That's what you got to stay on this thing for 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we go. And I stay up here a little bit and I fall off, and then I fall off again. And then I go back and watch it. And I'm not even sure the bull's moving. I think I was just drunk, and I think I'm the one that was moving. I don't think the guy ever touched the controller.
The guy was barely paying attention. He was checking IDs at the door.
No, he was.
He basically just he put a little lean into it, and I did the rest.
It was like, can I see expiration date? Okay, we're good.
So it wasn't jerking.
No, in my head, it felt like it was moving fast. I go back and instantly watch it on replay.
It's a movement.
No, seriously, I think there are bulls that could ride bulls better than what I did last night.
Yeah, I told you I broke my wrist the last time I rode one.
There was no.
Well, it was because
there was no chance I was breaking a bone on this one.
I had ridden it like 5 times, and the bull operators, I mean, they can do some damage to you if they want.
Well,
to.
because the guy after Dunaway that seemed a bit sober jumped on, and he went a long time. Like the whole bar was like kind of getting into it. And then the guy had to get super aggressive to get him thrown. And then he tried it again. He's like, we ain't doing that again.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But, it's supposed to be harder, not more dangerous, harder to ride a mechanical bull if you've got the right operator than a regular bull.
Yeah.
Because you can watch the bull's head on the direction it's going to go.
Yeah, so I think the next obvious step is
ride a real bull.
Real bull.
Bulls on the beach.
Not going to happen for me. And I will just tell you that watching that last night, all it took was getting me leaning one way or the other and just one little flick back to the other, and I never recovered. I think my core is a little weak is what I got from watching that video.
If we'd have got Dunaway in one of those pedal taverns, he'd be legally married in the state of Tennessee by now.
Yeah, he would.
I mean, he did everything but get married last night.
That would have been the trifecta, right? All right. The show rolls on here. You had a good night though last night.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to be low key. I left here right at 5 o'clock. I thought you guys were going to leave at 5 too.
Well, we did too.
I get a text at 6:30. You're still here, and the bottle is absolutely wiped out. But I went to a little On3 gathering and then ended up in a place called The Stage, which is kind of an infamous place on Broadway. And I saw a lot of people that we've had on the show this week.
Yeah, always good to catch
They
up.
were
With
having a lot of fun.
Yeah, including T-Bob, who was out dancing last night, correct?
T-Bob was dancing last night.
Cowboy hat.
I think he had the over-under was 1.5 buttons.
I got the under.
Yeah, a lot of chest hair showing. T-Bob was living his best life last night. And when I saw Shannon Terry, he said, "Did you poured me the biggest shot, but we were live and there was no way I wasn't going to do it." Because I did do a double pour on him. It was about what Taylor poured you yesterday, which you got to sip on.
Yeah. Well, I thought that's what we were doing the whole show. I didn't know we were going to.
Yeah, I shouldn't have pushed shots. That ended up being a theme for the night. Bad news.
Poor decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our buddy Late Kick Josh had said earlier this week, he wanted to see because this is his town. He wanted to see if the media people who Nashville got to, and it got to me last night.
Yeah.
So
your first casualty.
Nashville won. Jim 0.
Well, Nashville's becoming one of those towns. I've said this before. I can't remember the last time I've done more than 48 hours in Vegas. Like I'll book 3 days and I'll come back on the third day. I just can't. My body can't handle 3 days. Nashville's becoming that town. I mean, the last time you and I left here, you were like, if you lived in Nashville, you'd die.
Yeah, I did tell you that.
Yeah.
I think I stand by that now.
And here we are. We're back in Nashville.
That's right.
2 more nights.
2 more nights, like he's living here.
But not 9 more lives. Gutter Cap will get you an opportunity to keep you off that dangerous ladder as well. I mean, it's not a
it's not a mechanical bull,
but it's a dangerous ladder.
Well, and another thing, I mean, it's hot as hell out there. Last thing you want to do is get the ladder out, get on the roof, clean those gutters. Call 823-2212. Chris Stewart, best guy in the world. He's been doing this for over 2 decades now. They'll come out, give you an absolutely free estimate. It's back with a lifetime warranty. Again, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it, guttercapbirmingham.com.
One more note in our opening segment here. Last night in Major League Baseball, we tied the second most runs scored in a single day dating back to 1884. No pitching back then. 1894 is a record with 13 teams scoring 10 or more runs. Last night, 12 teams, 10 or more runs. And we were watching that Diamondback Braves game.
I mean, that was crazy, man. It was just like it was like the home run derby. It really was. I mean, that was a wild game. The Diamondbacks ended up winning in Atlanta.
Well, there's a thing called the Grand Salami. I bet Lunsford's bet on it before. You can do it in hockey and baseball, and it's got a total for all the runs scored in Major League Baseball that night. If you had the under last night, you feel pretty bad.
Yeah, so that was a loser.
Easy winner on the over there. I mean, when you start breaking records from 1884 and approaching 1894, you're doing something, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been around for a long time, and I don't know how you explain that in one given night. I mean, there's really no explanation, is there?
None for me.
I don't know how you would explain it.
I'll tell you, I saw something. I was walking by Bridgestone, and I was walking to Broadway to go to a place called 1230 last night, and I looked up, and it was right at sunset, and there was one of those gatherings of all the black birds in doing all the different directions.
Right.
It was like almost supernatural.
A murder?
It was not a murder of crows. It was just a lot of black. But do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I do. I've seen that before. Yeah.
It's really eerie.
Yeah. Did you think that might have been a harbinger of things to come?
I mean, I didn't know. I was like, this is pretty strange.
Did it worry you a little bit? You're like, I gotta watch myself.
And then the next thing I know, you've got all these runs being scored.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean, those two things tie right together. I did not think of that.
MyBookie.ag, if you want to get into the games tonight, MyBookie.ag, go see if you can play one of LT's scary plays on whether or not he sees crows and then goes and bets on over the run total or something. MyBookie.ag can get you started before football season.
They can. Code next round when you go there. Get that sign-on bonus up to $1,000 at MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag, code next round. That is MyBookie.ag, code next round.
Back to Nashville in a second.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Hi, this is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Conquer whatever summertime activities you want to take part in, all while wearing the perfect shoes. Our fit specialists take precise measurements of your feet and analyze how you walk and run so that your shoes fit perfectly. And we haven't forgotten about the kids either. We'll get them equipped for summer camp or whatever adventures they take on. Stop by the New Balance Birmingham store today, located on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham. Experience the difference a custom fit makes today.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
You hear a lot of interesting phrases while playing golf, like, I think you're on the beach, or the classic, you gotta hit it, Alice. One word you're sure to hear right now at Bentbrook Golf Club is wow. Brand new carts with complimentary GPS, and the bent grass greens are so consistent, you just might drain a few more putts, Alice. Tee it up and find out for yourself. Book around today at bentbrook.com or call 428-1999. It's better at Bentbrook.
For 50 years, our friends at Wayne's have been doing things around your house that you don't have time to do. Warm weather is coming. You want that lawn looking great. You want mosquitoes not around. Our friends at Wayne's, they can help you out. Right now, they will do $50 off for each of those services to continue to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Again, our friends at Wayne's, they take care of all of us here on the next round. You don't want those mosquitoes. You want the lawn looking great. Call them today, 866-WAYNES1 or call Waynes.com.
Did you tweak your shoulder putting up Christmas decorations? Injure your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard? Or hurt your knees getting up from the couch at halftime? Let 2023 be the year precision sports medicine and orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Call 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885. Or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
Back with you in Nashville, always brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Also the show, working in the Vulcan Tire and Automotive chat room over here. Brown will keep us up to date on any of the comments. Brown getting killed yesterday as he played police on LT and I having cocktails.
I did not even do that. You were already slurring after half a bourbon, and I was like, I'm going to have to cut you off because you got to finish the show. And everybody's like, oh, Brown's the stick in the mud.
Yeah, so
I gave up on this one a long time ago.
It's fine during the show.
No, I know. That's why.
We'll see if Brown lets us have fun later on. Chip Brown in a second. First, let me tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. He'll give you that free, no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free, no obligation. Greg wants to get up on that roof, make sure you don't have any loose shingles, other water entry points that can cause major damage to your house with that water damage. So Storm Restoration Roofing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, a free no-cost roof inspection. If you call 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. It is Storm Restoration Roofing.
All right, we do a 40 and 40. 67 of you have voted. We are about to unveil today's team. Don't look to the left of Lance for a hint of who got voted today, but we'll see if he agrees. Do we enter the top 10 today?
This is the top 10. Tyler, get it ready here. Urology Centers of Alabama brings us our 40 and 40. We've been counting them down. You guys voted from all the way from number 40, and we entered the top 10 today. And Tyler, let it fly, man. It is a team who is also entering the SEC. Here comes Texas, the Texas Longhorns, in at number 10 today, starting the final page of our 40 and 40 countdown, brought to you by our friends at the Urology Centers of Alabama. And here comes the Longhorns with a really good roster, Brownie. And we'll talk to Chip about that and tell you about UCA in just a second. Chip, man, this team coming to the SEC, it's a good time to be coming to the SEC next year. But this year, they got championship goals, right?
Yeah, I mean, Sarkisian came in and he had the blueprint from Saban. So he's recruited all these monstrous offensive linemen, including Kelvin Banks, who, obviously Alabama fans saw him last year, didn't give up a sack to Will Anderson or Dallas Turner, played as a true freshman. I mean, they're still a little young on the offensive line. They have all 5 starters back, but they had 2 true freshmen starting on that line. Got to replace Bijan Robinson, but I think Jonathan Brooks is really good. He's been waiting his turn. Sarkisian got away from the run in a couple games last year that cost them dearly. They should have beaten Oklahoma State. If he'd just keep giving it to Bijan Robinson, he'd have won that game. He would have been in the Big 12 championship. I thought their best win last year was at K-State, even though they waxed OU 49-0. OU didn't have their quarterback. So I think this is a team that they believe that they're due. I think they feel like they're the team to beat in the Big 12. We'll see what that means. They're coming to Alabama on September 9th.
Well, from 5-8 to 8-5, and the 5 losses all by 7 or less. We really start to look at it. It was a play here or there that kept them from having a special season. And it looks like Quinn Ewers is ready to be that franchise quarterback.
Yeah, he's, he apologized to the fans after the spring game for the season he had, basically saying, I'm not used to being part of the problem. I'm used to being part of the solution. And he completed 58% of his passes, but he had 3 interceptions in the loss to Oklahoma State. He and Xavier Worthy couldn't quite get on the same page. Well, they certainly couldn't in that game. They targeted Worthy 17 times, only 4 completions. They've added these receivers, including A.D. Mitchell from Georgia, Isaiah Nayer, who caught 12 touchdowns at Wyoming 2 years ago, tore his ACL in fall camp last year, is a 6'3" guy who will go up and get it. A.D. Mitchell, 6'4". Having those guys on the outside with Worthy, it's going to make it a whole lot harder for defenses to key on Worthy. And so, Sarkisian's privately telling people we're getting closer to what we had at Alabama in 2019 and 2020 when they had 1 first-round pick after another receiver.
I don't want to oversell this, and we've got plenty of time to talk Texas, Alabama. You'll be on the show again before that game is played. But a win in that game, what it does for Texas national exposure and what everybody thinks of them would be the biggest Texas win since when?
It reminds me of the game they played at Ohio State in 2005.
My gosh, that long ago?
It's been a rough patch.
Yeah. Obviously, they've won a Big 12 since then because they played Alabama for the national championship. But as far as a regular season game goes, that would be the biggest regular season Texas win in a long time.
Yeah, and in terms of the marquee brand,
right, what it means for your image, yeah,
right. And Ohio State that year was seen as a national title contender. Alabama's always a national title contender. Texas is trying to revive itself with heart paddles here after, being a flatliner for 15 years. And so it's enormous. And I think the fact that they played them, had a lead with 1:27 left after the field goal against Alabama. Bryce Young leads them down the field. They miss on the corner blitz, but lose by 1 point. They know how close they were. And that Alabama game is serving as their motivation all summer long. That's having a game like that is early in the season. Quinn Ewers is stepping up as a leader. Jordan Whittington, one of the receivers, said that he was talking a month ago. Some other players started talking. Quinn Ewers said, "Hey, I'm talking. Listen up." And Whittington said that's when he knew that Ewers had taken over the team.
Yeah, you've been here now all week long. First SEC Media Days, I assume, right?
No.
You've been here before?
I've been here. I went.
Remember, you went to Slice with us one night.
That's
Yeah,
right. I
you
forgot
did.
all about
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
I went to Hoover.
Yeah. What brought you in for that one? Just for the heck of it?
Yeah, we had a company meeting.
Oh, okay.
24/7 Sports is
Yeah.
based there, here, everywhere. They had a bunch of us come in.
Gotcha. I've forgotten that. Yeah.
So you were there then, but now with Texas coming in, how have you been greeted here this week? What have you noticed about, say, this media day compared to the Big 12 media day?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more juice here. The Big 12 media days in the middle of Cowboys AT&T Stadium. You're picking rubber pellets out of your shoes because you're on the turf. There's just a lot more energy and look, you got the 2-time defending national champion here. You got Nick Saban, the 7-time national champion coach. There's just more juice, no doubt about it.
We asked T-Bob Aber the other day what the approval rating for Brian Kelly is. He said 100%. Steve Sarkisian right now?
I mean,
Can't be 100%.
No, it's not 100%. I think there are some Texas fans who look at his previous records, won 8 games max at Washington, won 9 games his first year at USC, and say, oh, he's never won. But he inherited a really bad program at Washington. They'd won, 0-12 the year before. USC, he won 9 with the scholarship limitations from the Lane Kiffin era. So, I think he's a more mature coach. I mean, he's been through hell. He talked about how Nick Saban saved his career. And I think everything he says has some life experience to it. I think his players feel that. He's really gotten into the, team building aspect of, they have these culture Wednesdays where the players spend time, talking to each other about where they grew up and, so that they know each other and care about each other, stuff that Dick Tomey always did. But, this is, I think Sarkisian's approval rating right now is honestly probably 65%. That first year was rough. And they lost a lot of games they had leads in. I mean, they were losing games like no one else was losing games. They would be up double digits in the third quarter and lose. And they did it again twice last year against Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. So there was like this, okay, what the hell's wrong with Sarkisian? He can't close because at some point it's about him getting through to the players, a mindset that will allow them to close. Then they beat K-State on the road and then thumped Kansas. So now they've won 2 in a row on the road, but man, they were 1-6 on the road in true road games up to that point. And so fans were like cringing or watching through their fingers every time Texas would go on the road.
Chip Brown is with us, Horns 247, also ESPN Radio there in Austin. Give me a coach. I know this is not your first SEC Media Days, but first in a while. There have been a lot of coaches that have come and gone since that last time in Hoover. Give me one that impressed you this week. Somebody that you sat, maybe you haven't heard a lot of, and you're like, man, I like this guy.
Well, Clark Lee says the right things.
God
but,
bless him. He's just such a bad job.
I mean,
I'm sure Lance Leopold's impressive too. Right, in the Big 12.
Right.
It's the equivalent.
I thought, he sounds impressive. He's got a.
No, he sells a heck of a vision, Clark Lee does.
Yeah, and that's one of those things you just wonder why people take the Vanderbilt job. It's an SEC job. It's a great city.
But Chip, think about it too. Like, that was the worst time move ever. He's the Notre Dame coach today. If he just stays 1 year.
Yeah.
If he stays 1 year and Brian Kelly still takes the LSU job, Clark Lee, I mean, it's the difference between him being the Vandy coach and the Notre Dame coach.
You think his wife reminds him of that?
I mean, I don't know how you don't ever think of that, really.
Yeah, that's a great point. I thought it was interesting. Jimbo, everyone was coming at him about Bobby Petrino, and he got defensive, wouldn't say, who's going to be calling the plays, even though we know it's going to be Petrino. He doesn't hire Petrino to come in there and
why wouldn't he just own it?
Right. Own it. Don't, by looking defensive, you just add more fire to the whole, this thing could blow up. And then how about J.C. Latham today saying they're going to win all the games, win the national championship? I think.
Well, he was confident. He said it here with us. Yeah. He did not like confidence.
I don't know if you know the history of Alabama guarantees, but little Joe Namath. So
well, hey, that if that's who he's emulating, then That's gonna be good for the Tide.
How pissed were Texas fans last year that TCU played for a national championship?
I mean, I think they looked at TCU. Sonny Dykes comes in first year. They look at Brian Kelly, come in first year, wins the SEC West, and they're thinking, ah. But that Gary Patterson told me before last season. He said, "Look, that TCU team's a veteran team." He said, "Watch out for him," and I was like, "Okay." And he was right. And he said Texas Tech is a team to keep an eye on this year because they've got a lot of experience coming back. So, yeah, I mean, Texas fans are tired of watching everybody go by them.
Right. You hang with us. We're not done with you in this segment yet, but tell us about Urology Centers of Alabama. They bring you the 40 and 40 Texas number 10 today.
Yeah, compassionate, comprehensive urological care, 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama, patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Visit urologycentersalabama.com. Schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
I think a lot of people always want to know how the transition to the SEC is impacting recruiting. Have you seen is there any bump at all because they're going to the SEC, or is it just business as usual because Texas is already a big name brand?
Well, Sarkisian's drawing the offensive talent. There's no doubt. These kids remember what he did at Alabama. He can sell receivers on, what he did with Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs and all those guys. And quarterbacks, obviously. You got to have the quarterback. You got to have linemen in the trenches. Let's see how he does on the defensive line. They only got one defensive tackle last year in their recruiting class. So I'm watching that position because that's what separates the SEC from everyone else are those difference maker defensive tackles. I think they're the hardest, players to find. And the teams that are winning the national championships, Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, they've got those guys. And so he's recruiting well everywhere. He's selling the SEC. He's selling his offense, and now we got to see if he can load up on the defensive line.
We did a show in Tuscaloosa back in April, and the hotel we stayed in, we came down for breakfast before the show, and in walks Bo Davis, Texas defensive line coach in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
and we talked to him for a little bit. Remembered, from his time in Tuscaloosa, and he was about to hit West Alabama and Mississippi. I mean, they are. And you just got to think playing in the league is only going to help you there. And boy, you can find players there, man. Right. They're all over the place.
That to me is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
They should be able to land those difference-making defensive tackles, especially with a guy like Bo Davis, who's been at Alabama, won a national championship at LSU. He knows where they are.
Yep.
And he's got to go get them.
Yep.
Better live music, Nashville or Austin?
I was walking down Broadway last night. It's Nashville. I mean, every bar you go by, there's music coming out of the doors. And Austin, it used to be what we call Dirty Sixth Street and Maggie Mays and all that. But man, they've developed so many new entertainment areas in downtown Austin that it's not centralized like it is here. It's Broadway here. You're going to hear music coming out every door.
So Sixth isn't what it used to be? I haven't been in 20 years.
It's not. And that's just a fact. I don't think I'm, saying anything that Austinites wouldn't agree with. But, the live music capital of the world, that was the Continental Club and Stevie Ray Vaughan. And that's when the reputation developed because those guys are, from Austin. And then Dirty Six, it was, when I was in my 20s, that was the place to be. Now it's West 6th, then 5th Street, and even 4th Street. It's not as live music and intensive. I mean, you still have Antones, and don't get me wrong, it's all the great musicians still come and do Austin City Limits at Moody Theater, but it's not like just everywhere you go live music in Nashville.
Do you ever go to Austin City Limits? Have you ever been to a taping?
It's hard to get in.
Is it really?
But I had a contact for a while.
Yeah.
And I was able to get into some, and it's amazing. I mean,
I bet
they sneak in. Bruce Springsteen slides in and slides out. It still means something to the big artists, so that's cool.
Yeah. All right, he is Chip Brown, Horns 247, ESPN Radio, about to head back to About to head back to Austin from Nashville.
That's right. We got training camp in a couple weeks.
I hear you.
Here we go.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks so much.
Anytime, fellas.
Yeah, next is number 10.
Chip, thank you, man, so much. Moore's Marinade bringing you part of our coverage up here in Nashville at SEC Media Day as well.
Yeah, they are. Moore's Marinade is the place to go for all of that grilling in the football season this summer as well. Moore's, they've got tremendous products. And don't forget, it's not just the backyard barbecues. That buffalo wing sauce adds the perfectly tangy flavor that keeps you licking your fingers even after the wings are gone. You can dip, you can drizzle, you can slather Moore's buffalo wing sauce on everything you eat. Chicken fingers, burgers, sandwiches, pizza, pasta, tacos, fries, and more. See why grill masters prefer Moore's marinades and wing sauces. You can do that by visiting mooresmarinades.com for recipe ideas and grilling inspiration. That's mooresmarinades.com.
Let's see if Forster can you quote me what Dallas Turner actually said when he was asked, what do you know about Kentucky? Do you know it, Lunsford?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know nothing about Kentucky, but Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The only thing I know about Kentucky is the Colonel or KFC or something like that. And instantly Lunsford said, "Oh, they're going to lose that game." He started looking at mybookie.ag lines of taking Kentucky to at least cover that. You got to be afraid. You got the quote, Forrest? I don't know nothing about Kentucky but KFC from Dallas Turner today. But, in all fairness, if I asked you anything about Kentucky football right now, we know a few things, but he's got other games to play before he gets to Kentucky, trying to explain away a nice little bulletin board moment if Kentucky was to pull the upset.
Well, he could have just said it was a basketball school.
Oh, wow. That'd be even worse.
That's the ultimate shot, isn't it? I mean, when I think about Kentucky, I think about the Derby. I really don't think KFC anymore. As a kid, I would have.
Yeah.
And I think Kentucky basketball.
Yeah, I never associate KFC with the state of. I don't really think about KFC a lot ever. To be honest with you.
I really don't associate it with Kentucky.
But I'll tell you, man, as a kid, when we'd get a bucket, it was good stuff.
No, it was good stuff. I don't really associate it with Kentucky. That game is late in Kentucky's year. There will be a lot of water under the bridge. I mean, that game is November 11th. I was looking to see who Kentucky has leading up to that game. After the bye, they play Tennessee, at State, Bama, and then at South Carolina. So I don't know how much bulletin board is going to help them there.
LT is going to tell us about Dr. B, but one date I want to put on your calendar if you're a football fan. It is August the 14th, 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern. That's when the first AP poll will come out, the first meaningful poll. So August 14th, 11 a.m. We'll be in the middle of our show. We will, let you hear that live as it happens, and we'll react instantly to that coming up on August 14th. And, of course, our countdown is leading into the release of the first AP poll. Dr. B's got LT's hair flowing on Broadway up here in Nashville.
T3hair.net. That is the website. You need to pull that. Check it out. Again, when I started to go thin, I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name. Everyone said Dr. B for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to him for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Again, T3hair.net. Dr. B offering that Sensus transdermal infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary, as Dr. Beckenstein can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. Again, T3hair.net or 205-319-0316.
Another question about Alabama's quarterbacks for these guys when we come in. It's about sight unseen because we don't know who it's going to be. It's a question you want to hear next on SEC Media Days.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
We're live in Nashville this week, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Be sure to tune in on our social accounts so you don't miss a thing. Also brought to you by Moore's Marinades and Wing Sauces, Precision Sports Medicine, Michelson Laser Vision, and Woodbridge Wines.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations, but we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
Did you tweak your shoulder putting up Christmas decorations? Injure your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard? Or hurt your knees getting up from the couch at halftime? Let 2023 be the year precision sports medicine and orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Call 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885. Or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
You've heard us rave about our friends at Legacy. Now I want to tell you about their everyday checking. How about this? No monthly fees, no minimum balance. One of the great perks, get paid 2 days early with direct deposit, instant issue debit cards. And there are some additional perks on top of that with the digital banking app. Absolutely love checking that. The official credit union of UAB, our friends at Legacy, dedicated service to education and healthcare industries for more than 60 years.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with Walk-Ons. It's the spring sales event at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. Now you can get $10,000 off, plus rates as low as 4.7% on new 2022 Alfa Romeo Stelvios and new 2022 Alfa Romeo Giulias. Come see the team at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham, exit 27 just off I-459 on Grants Mill Road, or visit them online at alfaromeousa of Birmingham.com. Hurry down before they're all gone. All incentives applied, in stock units only with approved credit. Alfa Romeo USA of Birmingham.com.
The next round is live in Nashville, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Follow along on all of our social media accounts and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. Our Media Days coverage is brought to you by Wayne's Pest Control, Champies, Tommy James Law, and Johnston RV.
Back in Nashville at SEC Media Days, LTD&B with you here on the next round as we roll in. One thing that always goes on, even when we're out of town, is what happens today, right?
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Wednesday. Yep.
Rockstar Wednesday is.
Trivia.
Odie's team trivia every Wednesday night. We get started a little after 8 o'clock. Me and Brown will not be there tonight. It will be Will Haver, special guest, and Rockstar. Get out early, enjoy some of that great food. Rodney Davis has been serving it up for more than 30 years. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Stop in. It's the Birmingham Institution, Odie's Tavern, Crestline Village.
Special guest, is it Cord, Rockstar? Is Cord going to be like keeping the score or something tonight, spinning the wheel?
No, it affects his wake-up time at 4:30 a.m., so he's got to be at home and sleep because it's going to affect his waking time. So
I'm actually quite intrigued by who this special guest is. Lance, I keep forgetting to ask Lance in the break, and he said it a couple times.
Rocky, you know where Cord is? He's going to be extra worn out tonight.
Oh, he's at your pool.
Yeah, I saw a picture. He is getting a pool time at Lance's house with Bethany and Leighton. So I'm kind of jealous of that because he really enjoys the pool, although then he freaks out. Like it's one of those things where this is really fun for 5 minutes, and then he freaks out. So that's a fun reaction. So I'm hoping they'll take care of that.
How did he score on pool golf, Rockstar?
She's
better than you.
She's supposed to text me about that. So video about the large splashes.
All right, that is Odie's tonight trivia. Go out and check Will and Rockstar and that special guest out this evening. So sight unseen, Alabama's quarterback numbers this year. LT, can they continue to put up the same kind of numbers they put up with the Bryce Youngs, the Tua Tagovailoas, the Mac Joneses?
Well, I think with Tommy Rees coming in, I think there is going to be more of an emphasis on running the football. And you are going from, in my opinion, the best talented quarterback Alabama's ever had to virtually an unknown. With that said, the receivers are going to be better. I don't think the receivers are going to be, Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs. I don't think they're going to be like that. Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
But I think the receivers are going to be much improved from what we saw last year.
It is kind of weird, though, when you think of it this way. And I was having this discussion with a member of the national media, not trying to protect his identity. I just don't know what he's working on. But he was asking me some questions about just kind of Alabama fan expectations and things like that. And he asked me about Tommy Rees, and I said, I don't know what Tommy Rees is going to bring to Alabama. I really don't. I'm not sure any fan does. I said, but I think most Alabama fans are excited about the potential of getting back to an offense they're comfortable with. And he said, what? I said, well, I think most Alabama fans just want to get back to an offense they're comfortable with. He goes, they weren't comfortable with Bill O'Brien. I was like, and I don't know I'll come back to this. I don't know what you guys think Bill O'Brien's approval rating was, but I told this person, I was like, Alabama fans were kind of lukewarm on Bill O'Brien. He goes, he produced a Heisman Trophy winner and a #1 overall draft pick. I was like, yeah, I get it. Alabama didn't win a national championship, and I just think fans were lukewarm on him. What do you think Bill O'Brien's approval rating was?
66%.
I would say 50-50.
My God, think about that for a second now.
I mean, people bitched every Monday.
But there again, the first ever Heisman winning quarterback in Alabama school history, who was the first overall draft pick. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but he was all of that because Bill O'Brien's offense got Alabama in a mess and Bryce Young bailed him out. And there is some truth to that. That is not untrue.
All I say, and Bryce did bail him out a lot, but every time Alabama left the field this year offensively, last time that offense stepped off the field, they were ahead.
So Tommy Rees,
that is true.
Well, yeah, you're right.
I guess they were tied at Tennessee. Am I right about that?
Again, Alabama fans have become critical in wins.
Yeah, well, but I get what you're saying. They were behind. Yeah.
So last year, Tommy Rees's offense, they threw the football. What do you think the breakdown was between pass and
this
run?
is just plays, right?
I'll say it's roughly 850 plays.
I'll go 55-45.
I'm going to say that he is one of those guys that is so almost spot on. I'm going to say 51-49.
Wow.
No, it's higher than that. I would say it's around 60% run.
Okay, so 60-40?
Yeah, so 532 rushing attempts, 338 passing attempts.
Yeah. I don't think you'll see that big. I think that speaks more. And I know
towards quarterback.
Yeah, towards quarterback play now. I know
like Tyler Buckner.
But one of those quarterbacks.
But that's what we're talking about right here. Yeah,
I get it. But I think that speaks more about the quarterback play.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see that type of number in Tuscaloosa.
So take me back to a quarterback that you think would reflect the numbers we're going to see.
Jake Coker.
Jake Coker.
Yeah, I mean, give me Jake Coker's numbers. Do you guys have any idea? Again, Jake Coker got extremely hot at the end of the season, ended up winning a national championship, but I don't remember him having gaudy numbers during the regular season.
But he threw some great balls in that Michigan State and Clemson.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys remember, there was a little guy named Derrick Henry that played for Alabama then.
Yeah, that helped a lot.
Yeah,
I reminded him of that on the golf course one time.
Yeah, of Coker, I remember us talking about that.
Didn't Derrick Henry have like 350 carries that year?
395.
Yeah, it was a short putt. If you forget the story, if you weren't watching.
No, it is a good story.
It was a shorter putt. We're playing golf with Jake Coker over the last summer, and it was probably about 5 feet. And I think Brown or Paul Register, who we were playing with, also said, "Oh, that's easy for Coker." And I said, "I don't know. He doesn't have Derrick Henry to just turn off and hand it off to."
Wow.
He's got to actually make the play.
To Coker's credit, he's like, that was really good.
I don't know who you are, smart ass, but it was really good.
Coker, tell me if you would take, you wouldn't take this from an Alabama quarterback anymore. 66.9% completion percentage, 21 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Wow.
I won a national championship. Again, you had the Heisman Trophy winning running back behind you.
Yeah, the numbers will not be that. The numbers aren't going to be Bryce Young. They're not going to be Tua. They're not going to be Mac Jones. But they're not going to be that.
Yeah, but tell me. I would imagine Alabama fans who are watching us in the Vulcan Tarn Automotive chat room let us know. I think there are high expectations. Maybe not for one particular running back, but for that running back room.
Oh yeah,
to put up some big numbers this year, to get the carry, to be the focus point.
Yeah, and who's going to be the guy? I mean, Jason McClellan's coming back. Justice Haynes is the guy everybody raves about.
Yeah, I think Haynes will have a big role, but I like what McClellan can do.
Daniel says at the end, Bill O'Brien's approval was not high at all. I agree. It peaked early and faded from there. I was trying to get an overall average. Zach says Bill O'Brien did that running the air raid. It's been done before. Michael says Pete's approval rating was worse. I can't think of a time where the combined approval rating was worse for Alabama coordinators.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is you wonder what Bill O'Brien's approval rating is going back to New England. When we talked about Bill Belichick possibly having another sub 500 season, possibly getting fired. I mean, he's relying on Bill O'Brien to get Mac Jones going, an unknown quarterback.
But he's replacing Matt Patricia. In Alabama, he was replacing Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a big difference for him.
And I think Bill O'Brien's more of a NFL coach.
I do too. I think actually New England's offense will improve, and he'll get some credit for it.
New York Butcher Shop for the weekend. If you're getting ready for the grill or tailgating season very soon, our friends at New York Butcher Shop for the best cuts of meat and a lot more.
Yeah, stop by the New York Butcher Shop. Pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees, side dishes, perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Caba Heights and Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Arkansas was here today as well. KJ Jefferson, who is leaner now, doesn't look the same, but he's got the same weight as he had last year. How heavy do you think KJ Jefferson is?
I think he was 245 last year. I would say that he is 235.
I was going to say he played at 6'4", 245.
240 is the number he is now. 240 to 245 is where he played last year. You're spot on, but he looks different. He has been eating differently. Your thoughts on KJ Jefferson? Could he be, when it's all said and done, the best quarterback in the SEC?
He could be. I mean, he passed for 2,700 yards last year, 24 touchdowns, only 5 picks. The guy's versatile. Obviously, he can run the football, and you got Rocket Sanders in that backfield. I mean, it's one of the best overall backfields you've got in the SEC right now, and you can make an argument, and I believe he is the second best quarterback, at least proven quarterback going into this season. I think people are sleeping on Arkansas. Again, it's difficult because it's the SEC West, but I think Arkansas on a given Saturday can beat anybody out there. You know, last year they were 7-6, but 4 of those losses were by 3 or less points. I mean, you think about you flip those wins, it's 11-win season.
Yeah, but some of those wins are also, you know, close win, like in the bowl game up in Memphis where they barely beat Kansas.
I understand the coordinators left, but I can't believe people are starting to say, I don't know about Sam Pittman. I mean, 16 wins over the last 2 years. That's the most since Bobby Petrino did it.
Yeah, I understand some people may be saying that about Sam Pittman. For me, I'm just sort of saying about where Arkansas is in the pecking order of this league.
No,
right
I
now,
agree.
the players they recruit and stuff. I don't know. I think Sam Pittman is getting much juice out of that tournament as he can.
Do you have their schedule?
As I try to, he can pull it up.
Yeah.
Maybe Tyler can too. But as I try to use the Sam Pittman terminology there, getting as much juice out of that turnip or whatever you get out of a turnip.
That sounds like something Sam would say.
Yeah, and I think he's getting as much as he can out of that roster. I just wonder if Arkansas can recruit at the level to stay at the top level of playing the SEC, like Petrino had him at.
Okay, so Dan Enos coming back.
Right.
What was his approval rating at Bama?
Dan Enos?
Yeah.
It's kind of low. Alabama offenses then were, they were, that's offensive. But I will say this, a lot of people credit the development of Jalen Hurts at quarterback to Dan Enos. If you will remember, Hurts got beat out in 2017. Every time he came in 2018, he looked much better. Now, nothing like he looked once he finally went to Oklahoma, but you could see some improvement from him in the backup behind Tua. And a lot of people credited Enos coaching with that.
Yeah, and I'll just say this. I mean, I was never a huge Kendall Browse guy anyway.
Oh, I wasn't either.
I thought he was overrated.
I thought that was such a square peg in a round hole for Arkansas and Sam Pittman.
Kendall will be at TCU this year. What do you have?
I have Arkansas with this 5-game stretch, which is brutal. BYU at home, at LSU, Texas A&M, neutral site, at Ole Miss, at Alabama. Good luck. A lot of losses in there for them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think BYU is going to be tough, but because it's in Fayetteville, I'll give them a win there. 3 wins. I think they split A&M and Ole Miss. 4 wins. Mississippi State 5, Florida 6, Auburn coin flip, but I'll say a win 7-8.
Yeah,
I think they're 8 or 9 wins.
I think they're 7 or 8 wins.
Okay, but if they're 7 or 8, I mean, if you're an Arkansas fan, do you take that? I mean, in the SEC West, I'm like,
I think if you're an Arkansas fan, you have to.
Yeah, I think you have to. You're right.
Take it and like it.
I would just remind them of Chad Morris.
Oh, yeah. I think they remember. Look, Sam Pittman's still doing better than Morris or Brett Bielema.
Yep.
If you're 7 or 8 wins and you're anywhere close to 500 in conference, that's better than Bielema.
Yeah, they were 3 and 5 in conference, which isn't great last year, but still they're competitive.
Josh Pate will join the show from Late Kick Josh, 24/7 Sports. He'll be with us coming up at around 3:20. Stay with us the rest of hour 2 today coming up. The show being brought to you by our friends at Harbin's Outdoors. They can do some pool work. And in fact, just how built into our life our sponsors are. I'm at LT's pool on Saturday. I misstepped on a brick, got over the edge a little bit. The brick breaks away from the concrete, falls into the pool, breaks in half, and I instantly say, oh, man, how much can Harbin's fix that? How much will Harbin's charge me for that?
Well, they can fix anything. They're a one-stop shop. I mean, fiberglass pools, custom made, landscaping, hardscaping. Jeremy and his team, they do it all, from your pool construction needs all the way to the install, lighting, final hardscapes around the pool, everything in between. Beautiful work. You can find them on Instagram at Harbins_outdoors. See it for yourself, or call or text Jeremy directly, 205-300-0718. That's 205-300-0718. At Harbins, you and your home are the center of all they do. Call them today for all of your landscaping needs.
Did you guys see who Sam Pittman got on stage with to sing earlier this year?
Oh, boy.
Guess the band when we come back, and a lot more. SEC Media Days brought to you by mybookie.ag, live from Nashville. We're TNR.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
The next round is live in Nashville, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Follow along on all of our social media accounts and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. Our Media Days coverage is brought to you by Wayne's Pest Control, Champies, Tommy James Law, and Johnston RV. Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
If you're looking for a fun golf atmosphere that is laid back with a peaceful environment, the Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280, is perfect for you. Just a short drive from Birmingham, this 18-hole, 200-acre track with rolling fairways and ample greens is the definition of peacefulness of the country, just miles from the city. Enjoy a great lunch before your round and a cocktail on the wraparound porch after 18. Come see us today. The Meadows Golf Course in Harpersville, right off of Highway 280.
It's time to get out and enjoy the summer of 2023. Ocean City, Maryland, and your hotel family at Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City is ready to welcome you. Kayak from our Bayside Beach, swim in the Atlantic, dine at our Bayview Bar and Grill, span the 2.5-mile-long Ocean City Boardwalk, and a lot more. See all this plus irresistible summer deals and packages online at residenceinoc.com. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Do something different this summer. Residence Inn by Marriott Ocean City, Maryland.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Woodbridge Wine, brought to you by Constellation Brands, proud partners of the Alabama Crimson Tide, bringing you our coverage of SEC Media Days. Woodbridge Wines by Robert Mondavi Wines are fruit-forward, smooth, and made for sharing. Woodbridge offers a wine that doesn't get uptight about wine, so that you can have a wine your way. Visit woodbridgewines.com for delivery, or to find out where you can buy locally. Woodbridge Wines by Robert Mondavi. Please enjoy responsibly. We're live in Nashville this week, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Be sure to tune in on our social accounts so you don't miss a thing. Also brought to you by Moore's Marinades and Wing Sauces, Precision Sports Medicine, Michelson Laser Vision, and Woodbridge Wines.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
38 days away from the start of the college football season. One more full day of SEC Media Days here in Nashville tomorrow. We're live 2 to 5 tomorrow, 2 to 5 Central Time again on Friday, and then back to our normal time the following week. Sam Pittman on stage earlier this year with Foreigner. singing Hot Blooded.
Wow.
Which he says at some point they turned down his microphone, and he said, I guess they were afraid I was going to steal their jobs.
Look, Lou Graham, who's no longer with Foreigner, one of the Rockstar, would you say one of the more unique voices for a frontman?
Yes, he has one of the most recognizable original voices, and I don't even know if they've been elected in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think they have.
Are you kidding me?
I think
See, and
they're one of the ones that
I
have
like
been.
Foreigner. I'll call him a guilty pleasure. I mean, I enjoy Foreigner.
Okay, so you have Hot Blooded, a jukebox hero. Feels like the first time as Foreigner, right?
Yeah, Cold as Ice, Head
Cold as
Games.
Ice.
I think their best
Waiting
song
for a Girl Like You,
is,
Urgent.
I want to know what love is.
Double Vision.
Oh, Double Vision.
You like Double Vision?
Lance loves Double Vision. That's when we did double lock one day. We always played Double Vision.
Oh, yeah, we
that's
did.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And what do we have? A triple lock box?
Triple lock box. We had 3, right?
Yeah, I thought Foreigner with Lou Graham was really good.
Yeah.
Waiting on a Girl Like You.
Yeah.
Was my favorite, I think.
Foreigner 4 was one of my favorite albums as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of those iconic T-shirts when it was a concert. You go to the concert, they'd show up the next day. The cool kids would.
Yeah, I've seen Foreigner. I saw him with Lou Graham.
I was going to guess Black Oak, Arkansas, just because Arkansas is in the name there. I didn't know maybe if they actually still tour in Arkansas.
I was going to go 38 Special.
Yeah.
I think that would have fit him too. But
Yeah.
Foreigner for Sam Pittman. This hour of the show being brought to you as some of our SEC Media Day coverage is by our friends at Woodbridge Wines.
Sam might have needed some Woodbridge wine before he jumped up there, right? Take the edge off just a little
Liquid
bit.
Courage,
A
man.
little
I can
Liquid
tell you all
Courage.
about it.
Woodbridge Wines, brought to you by Constellation Brands, a proud partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide, bringing you SEC Media Days. Woodbridge Wines by Robert Mondavi Wines, fruit forward, smooth, and made for sharing. Woodbridge Wines offers you a wine that doesn't get uptight about wine. You have to wine your way. Visit woodbridgewines.com for delivery or find out where you can buy locally. Woodbridge Wines by Robert Mondavi. Please enjoy responsibly.
Alabama here. We talked the first hour a lot about the Crimson Tide. Arkansas, Florida, Kentucky today. We've hit on Arkansas a little bit. Let's jump into the other two teams before Josh Pate joins us here. One question about Kentucky for you. We're led to believe that with Liam Cohen back, we're going to get better quarterback play at Kentucky this year than we got last. Will Kentucky's quarterback situation be better with Devin Leary than it was with Will Levis?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we all were in agreement. I think the world was in agreement. Even the NFL was in agreement. Will Levis was overrated.
I mean, it seemed like everybody agreed on that. I guess even the Titans did. I mean, they drafted him later, right?
Yeah. I mean, he dropped all the way to the second round.
Yeah. I mean, they drafted the second round, so they agreed he was overrated.
You know, there was talk that he could go in the top 5, and he drops out all the way to the second round. And I don't know what Titans fans' expectations are, but with Liam Cohen coming back to this offense, Chris Rodriguez is definitely a loss. But people are talking about Kentucky's receiver room with Barry and Brown might be 1 through 3 as good as any in the SEC.
They got a lot of snaps when they were young, and they've grown up a little bit now in the system. Yeah.
And Devin Leary, you've brought this up before. I mean, going back 2 years ago, was the ACC Offensive Player of the Year.
And if he's healthy, if he's the old Devin Leary, that's dangerous.
He's a better college quarterback than Will Levis was. He just is.
There are 2 units in the SEC that I'm not certain could get worse. I think they can only get better. I mean, one of them is Kentucky's offense. The other one's Tennessee's defense.
See, I still think losing their offensive line coach to Alabama. Now they lost one who passed away.
Right, and he was really, really good. But this guy Wofford was very good too.
Wofford at Kentucky when he left, I think that changed the dynamic probably of 2 offensive lines in the SEC. Alabama seems to be on the uptick. Kentucky was on the downtick last year. We'll see if they can readjust.
But would you agree with that? That it's hard to say that Tennessee's defense could get much worse than it was at times last year, especially their pass defense. Everybody threw it on Tennessee except Will Levis. And Kentucky's offense can't get worse. I think it'll only get better.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Liam Cohen can come in and make their offense worse.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think it's even hard for it to be the same.
And I think to the point that Chris Rodriguez was a talent, but I think they're to the point there in Mark Stoops recruiting that, he'll have a running back. It won't be Chris Rodriguez, but they'll have a running back of quality. If that offensive line gets back to being, traditional Mark Stoops offensive line, they'll be able to run the football enough. And Devin Leary's not bad with his legs either.
Yeah, look, and again, Barry and Brown, Dane Key, and Tavion Robinson are those 3 receivers. And you saw them get better as the year went on. I did want to tell you this about the Tennessee defense. I thought this was interesting. And you wonder how much when you play 13 games and 12 of those games, you get 100+ snaps on offense.
Yeah, that has been debunked, by the way, by some of our audience. And I always thought that sounded high.
Well, I'll tell you who told me it was Grant the other day.
Grant needs to count again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know he was there.
I thought it was insane.
Yeah, it sounded high, and somebody finally sent us the screenshot.
Okay.
It was like they didn't run 100 plays all season last year, much less every game.
Who gave it? Grant
Ferguson.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Oh, Grant Ferguson.
Yeah, Hugh Grant, Mr. Romantic Comedy.
Grant was on the team, so you would think he would know.
Okay, but when you've got arguably the best offense, and I think statistically the best offense in college football last year, and you only allow more than 27 points 3 times, then, I mean, that's why you're winning 11 games.
It was primarily their pass defense. Everybody threw the ball in Tennessee. Everybody threw the ball in Tennessee.
Except for Kentucky, you always say.
Will Levis, who everybody was talking about potentially being the #1 overall pick.
All right, we'll get to 4 downs here in a second, but Redmond Vodka is one of our sponsors up here, and we're going to crack open a bottle here tonight. We've got a few cases up here in Nashville, and we're going to share the love with the Music City.
Yes, Redmond Vodka, locally owned and operated. Their aim, clarity, and taste, color, and smell. It's vodka perfection. It's gluten-free. It's 8 times distilled. Available in 22 states. Ask for it by name. Peter Burns was on with us earlier. He knew exactly about Redmond Vodka. He knew it was Charles Barkley's vodka. But again, pick up some for the weekend. Redmond Vodka.
San Diego State, away from the SEC Media Days here. San Diego State will stay in the Mountain West Conference. That news announced today. The Mountain West Conference will keep them through the 2024 football season. So 2 more years for San Diego State there. Their penalty for the ruckus and being allowed back in the league, they've got to pay the league's legal fees during the process of San Diego State possibly leaving or not leaving. So a slap on the wrist, and the Aztecs are back in to the Mountain West Conference. Let's jump in to 4 downs today, LT, brought to you by our friends at Slice. Great lunch place, dinner place, or they can have deliveries for the office as well.
Yeah, I just got a text from our buddy Jason Bajaya, one of the owners and operators. Him and his brother Chris, they continued the legacy their brother Jeff started. It's just incredible pizza. Really thin crust pizza. If you love the thin crust, it starts with the crust, the specialty toppings from the soul pie, the wing and a prayer, the Bajaya special. Again, for more information, drop it at one of those 4 locations: Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. You can also go online. Go to slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
More wins, the Dallas Cowboys or the Texas Longhorns?
Dallas Cowboys, easy here. I think the Cowboys, they won
13 last year.
Last year.
Were they 13-4? Is that right?
And they
12-5 or 13-4.
I think they were 13-4, and I think they only didn't win the division. They were a wild card team because the Eagles were 14-2 or 15-2.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys because I think they repeat that. I think Dak has a good year. I think the running backs, whoever they end up may be, will be okay. But the receivers are good. The offensive line is good. The defense is great.
See, I think Texas is 10-2.
I do too. I think Texas feels like a 10-win team, and I do not think Dallas will be 10-7.
Yeah,
I am better than 10-7.
I think Texas can max out at 12, and it'd be a tie.
Yeah, but I do think the NFC East at one point was arguably the worst division in football, but now where the Eagles are, where the Giants climbed to last year, and if the Commanders ever figured out a quarterback, that's a good division.
No, it can be a good division, and there was years, you're right, it was a yucky division that we got on TV all the time.
Commanders are not an easy out with that defensive line they got with Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, those guys. I mean, that's a tough out, even if they do struggle offensively.
You know, and Sam Howell's going to be their quarterback moving forward, at least this year.
But I'm a Cowboy believer this year. How about them Cowboys?
Second down.
Who's at current job longer, Steve Sarkisian or Sonny Dykes, who just played for the national championship?
Boy, it's hard to imagine Sonny Dykes didn't build up a lot of capital getting the Horned Frogs in there last year. And then we had Connor O'Gara on Saturday Down South earlier this week, who says they really turned that national championship appearance not into great portal success this year, but in high school recruiting that should pay dividends a couple of years down the road. That said,
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that said, Sark is the answer here. I think Sark's going to be there a while.
And I know there was a lot going on in that last hour yesterday, but I think Marcello brought them up too and mentioned their NIL, that they've got their NIL dialed in.
And he doesn't think TCU is going to fall off as much
as we do.
But I mean, falling off from 12 wins to 7 wins is huge.
No, I mean that's about as big as you'll ever get.
Yeah, and I think I think 7-5 is not a bad year really for Sonny Dykes.
Yeah, I mean a 5-game difference is about as big as you'll ever see in college football.
But didn't we debate on whether or not he would be a 500 coach in conference play?
We did.
Oh yeah,
over the next 3 years.
We did, and I think he will not be. I think he'll be under 500.
Yeah.
Third
but that's it.
I think we've got a stake on that.
Yeah, I think you did. That said, I mean, I'm going to go Sark. Well, I mean, Sonny Dykes did build a lot of capital, and I think
it's his last stop too.
I do think it's his last stop. I think he's probably got a favorable contract, and I think he can still win 7 or 8 games, which is going to be enough at TCU. I think I'll take Sonny Dykes there longer than Sark.
Third down.
More total touchdowns, Quinn Ewers or Dak Prescott?
Again, if we think you and I were in a consensus that Dallas is 12 or more,
I think Ewers could have 35 to 40 total touchdowns.
Yeah, and I know the exchange rate college touchdowns to NFL quarterbacks are different.
But it still is 12 to 17.
But I mean, how much you going to play Hornsby? How much you going to play Arch?
Yeah.
In games to get it gets Quinn off the field early. If you ever get in those situations, NFL quarterbacks don't come out unless they're injured.
Boy, that is a name that has gone dark.
Who, Arch Manning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like no expectation for that guy to play.
I mean, some people think he's fourth. I mean, no, excuse me, third, not fourth, but third.
But last year at this time, if we brought up the name Arch Manning, you would just assume he would be starting as a true freshman wherever he went.
Yeah, not the case. And in fact,
if he was at Bama, do you think he'd be starting?
That's interesting, and I wonder if he ever thinks about that.
Do I think Arch will be starting at Bama? I don't think he'd be starting, but I think he'd be closer to starting than he is at Texas.
Which may be sad.
Well, I don't know that it is. It's just more a reflection of Quinn Ewers played well last year when he was healthy, and he's a established starter. Alabama doesn't have that.
I think for the first time, though, I think we could name 35 to 40 starting quarterbacks that would definitely start at Alabama.
Yeah, it seems high.
I'll do it in break.
It doesn't seem like our dry erase board in Birmingham's big enough to put 35 to 40 on it.
But let me quickly say, and I mean, I don't know that we need to read all 35 to 40 names, but if you want to write them and log them, I will bet you after week 3, you'll narrow that list by half.
Okay, what I'll do, I'll write them down during some of the breaks, and we can highlight just a couple.
Yeah, but it's save the whole list.
Yeah, I will.
And let's revisit. We'll find a time to read, maybe 4 weeks in or whatever. We'll revisit it and see how much we narrow the list.
Josh Pate coming up here in a moment, but let's do fourth down.
Fourth down.
Oh, so fitting. We're in Nashville. Dolly Parton, 78 years old today.
Don't know who you're about to compare, but it better be a good one.
Nick Saban.
Better career, Dolly Parton or Nick Saban?
I mean, that's tough.
It is, and it's tough because, one is the greatest of all time.
And then, the other one coaches at Alabama, right?
Yeah, and the other one.
Was that what you're going to say?
No.
But, I mean, you think about Dolly Parton, I mean, just iconically, not only great musician, songwriter. I mean, she wrote "I'll Always Love You." I can't even remember some of the other things that she wrote.
I mean, an incredible human.
Yep.
I mean, just a great philanthropist. I would go Dolly Parton, I think.
No, I mean, you can't not say Dolly Parton, which is why these discussions are so hard, because two different genres. One's the greatest of all time, the other's Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton's really great at what she does too. I mean, I'll go Dolly Parton because of all the stuff she does off the stage, off the mic.
Nick Saban never had a theme park, but if he did, I think it would probably do well in Alabama. Yeah, like if he went to Saban Land.
Yep.
Saban Land and Birmingham would crush.
Yep. What would the all rights be? Would it be like one of those pineapple things they do at Disney? That'd be the all rights.
You'd name it after all the great players. Like you'd have the Derrick Henry tilt-a-whirl. You'd have the Lane Kiffin roller coaster. It's up, it's down. You never know where it's going.
You'd have the Reuben Foster bumper carts.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he'd run into anything.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Saban Land would do okay, but Dollywood's got a good run there in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
I'll go Dolly Parton.
A.J. McCarron's nightclub.
That's right? The dance where you go dance.
Yeah, you go dance there at night. Yeah. We can make a good theme park. Saban Land.
Saban Land.
Yeah.
Who was the dude that got busted for slinging coke?
Jimmy Johns.
Yeah, that was before Saban.
Yeah.
Don't trash. That's across the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's out now, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's doing,
he's
like,
selling
good stuff.
cars. Yes, he's changed his
Good
life.
for him.
Good for him. I think he got his degree.
That is our 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice Today.
Again, 4 great locations: the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. Get in for the incredible pizza, $75 carryout. You get the 12 wings, you get the 2 specialty pizzas, half pan of the salad, 7 days a week. SliceBirmingham.com.
Yeah. Some other good ones are coming in.
Well, Rusty says Saban may have 7 rings, but something he don't have, Dolly does.
Yeah. 7 rings versus triple D's or whatever.
Hell, I don't know.
I would not want to guess.
Our friends at Michelson Laser Vision bringing you part of the show. We'll do Rockstar's viewing menu in the final hour. Josh Pate's due up next. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That's the number you need to write down. Again, I got the procedure done over 2 decades ago. I've still got 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made, 969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You've got 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best of the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
It's an early kick for late kick Josh next.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
The extra hours of sunshine are back on the clock, and that means it's time for golf at Timberline, a short drive from Birmingham or Montgomery. Go to timberlinegc.com, timberlinegc.com to book your tee times, schedule a lesson, or just drop by and use the TrackMan technology on the driving range. The course is always fun, in great shape, and you can even become a member. Get all the details at timberlinegc.com. It's time to get your golf on with our friends at Timberline.
Don't miss your chance to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Open 24/7, so come on in for non-stop gaming action. You'll find the latest, hottest, most exciting games around. And you'll love the fun bonuses and big jackpots. Plus, you can watch and wager on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. Your best bet for big wins is just minutes away at Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where you can be a winner too. Birmingham Racecourse Casino off I-459, exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
For 50 years, our friends at Wayne's have been doing things around your house that you don't have time to do. Warm weather is coming. You want that lawn looking great. You want mosquitoes not around. Our friends at Wayne's, they can help you out. Right now, they will do $50 off for each of those services to continue to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Again, our friends at Wayne's, they take care of all of us here on the next round. You don't want those mosquitoes. You want the lawn looking great. Call them today, 866-WAYNES1 or call Waynes.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
New Life. We'll get to Rockstar's viewing menu right here, brought to you by New Life Art, and then Josh Pate will join us on the set. Tell us about the great folks at New Life Art, LT, just great folks there. We were talking about great Alabama moments earlier. Forrester's looking at some great clips over there. And New Life Art's been capturing those for years.
Yes, Daniel Moore's got his new print out. If you give me 1 second.
I mean, this is incredible. The amount of paper.
It's like Jimbo Fisher's.
It really is. He can never make fun of Jimbo's play sheet.
Why don't you tell us?
Do that?
Tell us, Rockstar, about what
Yeah,
you're
why don't
watching.
we do
He'll
that
find
first?
it, man.
6 p.m. on Star's Edge tonight. You got a underrated Leonardo DiCaprio film from 2000, The Beach. I thought it was a good film. It was interesting. And 8 p.m. right after that on the same channel on Star's Edge. Give me the top 3 Jim Carrey movies. See if this makes it.
Dumb and Dumber.
That's one.
Yep, Ace Ventura.
I think the original
Yeah,
Ace
the
Ventura you
original.
can put up there, and I'll give you one that is he's going to shoot down.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is his best.
Yeah,
film.
I don't really care about that one.
You don't care about a good movie?
Well, I mean, it wasn't funny. I want him to be funny.
It was a great concept.
Yeah, but I want him to be funny. He wasn't
Okay.
funny. I don't think in that.
I
I
never
never watch it.
I've
though, so I
never
don't know.
thought he was funny.
Fun with Dick and Jane. You ever seen that one, Rockstar? The remake of that one?
No, I never
You
saw
did
that.
like that movie.
But Lance was right. At 8 p.m. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Him.
Great
and
movie.
Kate
Have you
Winslet.
seen it, Rocky?
Yes, it's a great movie. It's a series Jim Carrey. It's hard to say what was the number 23 that was terrible. But him doing a serious role, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, was highly recommended. So, yes, 2004.
Kate Winslet, I think she had blue hair in it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good film. So that's all you got tonight. Remember, guys,
Whoa.
writer's strike and
wow.
actor's strike.
Tell
going
us
on right now.
about New Life Art.
Yeah, artist Daniel Moore announced his next masterwork in oils. Legacy Continues, sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting. Legacy Crimson Legacy features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Order it right now at danielmooreart.com. That's danielmooreart.com.
Paul Skeens, LSU pitcher, signs yesterday $9.2 million signing bonus. That's a record.
I mean, that is crazy, man. 9.2 million, and that signing bonus that's money in the pocket. They don't ever take that one back.
You get that as soon as you sign your
That's
name.
what I'm saying. Yeah, they never take that one back.
I think I remember this correctly, but can you guys remember the first $1 million signing bonus?
I know the first $1 million major league player was Nolan Ryan, but obviously he didn't get that as he was drafted.
This guy was drafted by the Yankees.
I was going to say Robin Ventura, but he was not drafted by the.
He was a White Sox.
Excuse me, by the Yankees.
I'm going to say the first $1 million signing bonus signed by the Yankees.
I'll tell you this, and I don't think he ever pitched in the bigs because he got in a fight and he messed his arm up.
Yeah, that would be old Nugsy.
No,
somebody. I don't know.
You don't remember Brian Taylor?
I do not remember Brian Taylor.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Just one of the many Taylors. I don't know.
No, this was
he got hit by
did he own a Tesla?
Early 90s. Scotty,
did he know the Flints?
Forrester, do you remember the name Brian Taylor?
That's a no from Scott. No, I don't remember.
I
Brian
cannot
Taylor.
believe you guys don't remember.
Wait,
that.
you just told me he never pitched in the majors. Why would I
but
remember him?
because it was such a big story because of how his career ended.
Oh.
And he spelled it with an E. Here it is. Look, jumps right up.
How did his career end again?
I'll tell you right here. Former pitcher in the minor leagues. Here we go. Damn, he's got a lot of kids. Damn, he got busted in 2012 for cocaine trafficking.
Yeah. I don't really care that much. It's okay. I just thought when you said it's crazy how his career ended, I thought there was a crazy
And I
story.
was wrong.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah, Todd Van Poppel was actually the guy. You guys remember him, though, right?
I do remember Todd Van
Yeah.
Poppel.
Yeah.
Coach
So you
Spurs.
brought up a guy that is absolutely meaningless to the story now, and Brian Taylor.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
But let me ask you a question. Easier to find something on a big Wikipedia story that was longer than you thought it was going to be, or something at the bottom of that pile of paper over there?
did look over there.
I
This is
think
the
so.
longest Wikipedia.
Yeah, I
site.
know.
But no, I hate those. I
I
like
know.
it. I like it when it's
I
all
do.
really short. I like the short ones.
Give me bullet points, but the Wikipedia on this guy is like his family's written his biography on Wikipedia.
All of a sudden, it's a 500-page report.
I know, let's-
LT's like, oh, hold on, I'll tell you.
Yeah, let's just scroll it. I can't
Damn,
find
He
it.
got a lot of
actually
kids.
did. He got 1.2 million.
Okay,
So
that's
they
good.
offered him 300,000. He held out for 1.2.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
And then he messed his arm up in a fight, and he never pitched.
Well,
What are we
that
talking
is
about? Oh, the
unfortunate.
signing
Brian
bonus.
Taylor. Yeah,
I
signing
thought-
bonus.
I thought we talked about that on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it still
yeah.
Wednesday? How long is Wednesday?
about to be longer if this vodka gets here.
Oh, there's a chance the Redmont vodka will show up.
Do you really want it?
Are you going to drink it?
Oof.
That's a no.
I mean, it feels like a beer night for me.
Well, do we have anybody?
Feels like a Bud Light night for me.
Do we have any guests from 4 to 5 on set?
No.
We have Josh Pate, who's going to be here at momentarily.
Josh is held up by Billy Napier. He might stick around after 4. I do not know.
Yeah, but he doesn't drink.
Okay.
Okay.
But
so no.
Our friends at mybookie.ag bringing you our show up here. Tell us about MyBookie, and we'll get into what we know about Billy Napier other than the fact that he was late today. Go ahead.
MyBookie.ag, probably not his fault. MyBookie.ag, code next round, bet anything, anytime, anywhere. They bring you our coverage from SEC Media Days. And don't forget, you're eligible for that sign-up bonus up to $1,000 when you use mybookie.ag and use that code next round.
Okay, so what do we know about Billy Napier? I mean, not like, please don't pull up his Wikipedia page. But
like he's got 3 kids.
A question you wanted to ask this week, LT, is what do we really know about Billy Napier? What do we really know?
I don't think we know anything about Billy Napier. He did a great job at Louisiana. I think we would agree with that. He's got the Saban mentality. It's all about the process. It's about building the culture. And I don't know if we're going to see a lot in year 2. I'm one of those guys that believes with transfer portal and other really good coaches are able to flip things. I mean, you look at Sonny Dykes. I'm not even considering him a good coach. In year 1, he plays for a national championship. Brian Kelly wins the SEC West in year 1.
Come on in and have a seat.
Just, let's ask.
Please don't step on our content director.
Hey, yeah.
Somebody got Nashville.
Yeah, you're
the 12th most crazy thing I've seen today back there. There's a body on the floor.
Yeah. So Dunaway just asked us, what do we know about Billy Napier? And I don't know. He did a good job at Louisiana. His best win at Florida was week 1 against Utah.
Yeah. Well, I just talked to him for 15 minutes, and I know a little bit, I guess. Here's what I do get. He's one of those guys that really does bubble himself in. So for all the criticism that's out there and all the doubt and all the over under 5.5 win total stuff, he talks like he thinks they're going to be able to compete to win the SEC East, but he also doesn't like overhype them. He's a really solid football coach that kind of got into one of those situations like in LA where they give you the red light, green light to get on the interstate. And if you're from rural Georgia like I am, that kind of throws you for a loop, and you kind of
I thought once I got on the exit ramp, it was all all bets are off.
You're gonna ease your way out there. Well, you can't ease your way out there. You got to pedal all the way to the floor. And I think that he kind of jumped into portal and recruiting life in the SEC and tried to ease his way into it. You can't do that. And he's pretty upfront about that when he was talking to us just now. Thing about it, though, is we don't play 162 of these games. You play like 12 of them a year. So if it goes sideways pretty early, we got to wait a whole year to atone for that and apply all the lessons you've learned. I think he's a good football coach. No different than Norvell when he got hired at Florida State. It may blow up in your face year 1. It may not even pan out year 2. If you stick with a guy like Florida State did with Norvell, now all of a sudden they're the co-favorite to win the ACC. My question is, if Florida's a 6-6 team this year, is that the level of patience they have in Gainesville? I don't know the answer to that, by the way.
Well, I would not want to test that if I'm Billy Napier.
And boy, and it's a tough opener. I mean, it was a tough opener last year that they won.
Hey, but Scott Strickland, I mean, he hired Dan Mullen and he hired this guy. I mean, I think he's well respected as an athletic director. But if you start to pull the plug on Billy Napier, does somebody say, well, before we pull the plug on Billy Napier, let's look at who's doing the hiring here?
I don't think that's unfair. And therefore, I don't tend to think that Napier's in as much trouble unless it's just outright disaster and there's off the field scandal because of that reason. You're basically incriminating yourself at that point.
Right.
If you say, hey, by the way, I need another buyout.
Yeah.
I got to pull the plug on another guy. That's normally when they say, we'll just hit the dump button altogether.
Yes.
Let's just retool the entire athletic department.
Better chance doing that. You rolling a hard 8 this time. Go ahead. Yes.
No, I think that's fair though, and I think that's something that maybe if the worst were to happen and they're hovering around 500 or worse, and we get towards November, I don't think it would just be is it Billy Napier hot seat time. I think it would be like we've seen before. Is it athletic department hot seat time? And whether it's fair or not, I said it's fair. Whether it's fair or not, that's probably the way it's going to be.
And he also hired Mike White.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a great basketball program for a minute.
Yeah, so I mean, you start to stack it up if Napier doesn't work.
But I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to if this is a pivotal year for him, you're relying on Graham Mertz. I haven't seen a lot from Graham Mertz.
So I posed that to him. I said, I got Graham Mertz on a piece of paper. That's what a quarterback is to me, and it doesn't look all that impressive. But yet, Napier said, well, we evaluated everyone in the portal, and that's the one that we thought could actually come win for us. So I asked him, well, what does that mean? What did you evaluate? And I told him to give me the elevator pitch so he didn't filibuster the entire thing. And he did give me the elevator pitch, and he said he threw out the combined starts, combined snaps, threw out a few things that he looks for characteristics-wise in a quarterback. But the thing about it is he also said, and this better be true for him, he also said, I talked to Paul Chryst, his head coach at Wisconsin, and he was just brutally honest and said, we didn't use the guy right, and the skill set probably doesn't match the results we had. And so for Florida's sake, if that's true, then they could overachieve this year. They got a really good stable of tailbacks. Like they have a decent, not an elite, but a good enough supporting cast around him to where if Graham Mertz is more than just, okay. I mean, they could put themselves in a lot of one possession games. They could put themselves in a lot of games that look like that Utah game last year. And then you just hope you roll the dice and you end up like +4, +5 in one possession outcomes.
Josh Pate is with us, Late Kick Josh on Twitter and at 24/7 Sports. Follow all of this stuff. Give him thumbs up. We ask you to do that for us.
At the very worst, thumbs in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't go all the way up, just in the middle, not down though, but a thumbs up. Make sure you've set your alerts and all those things on YouTube like you do for us. Do the same thing for Josh. Is there a coach, because you've talked to every head coach who's come through, right? They've come through your room.
Most of them.
Most of them. Is there one? Look, they're all confident at this time of year, but is there one that's their elevator pitch might have sold you on them being a little better than you initially thought? I know you're probably too savvy to fall for those tricks.
No, it's not a trick. I'm just really,
Did you have Jimbo on?
I didn't get Jimbo. That's the one I wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
The schedule conflicted. I will tell you,
Because I think they're going to be good this year.
Well, see, that's the fun thing, because that's a total ping pong match right now.
Oh yeah.
You don't really find many people that say, oh, they'll be decent.
Yeah,
It's
middle of the road.
It's either complete tire fire or
Right.
sneaky contender for the
Yeah.
West. And literally both things can be true. Like I was doing a hit the other day and someone said, who do you pick to finish last in the West? And I never like to actually make a prediction, because that way you're never actually wrong.
Right.
And so I like to say, well, what's the worst case, best case, most likely? But if you do that exercise in the West, the Venn diagrams overlap so significantly that there are like 4 or 5 teams that could finish last, and a couple of them you think may also challenge to win the division, and A&M's that team basically.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I mean, you take Bama and LSU off the board finishing last, and you can make a case for everybody else easy.
Yeah.
It's not even that crazy a case.
I think Hugh Freeze did himself a lot of favors, though, because Hugh Freeze, if you can ever just get him in front of a mic, he's always going to impress people.
That's right.
And he can really what I call etch-a-sketch his reputation and just move that thing from left to right. And of course, if you win games, then everyone is willing to forget everything. So when he came in here, I was surprised, frankly, when they went in the big room, he didn't get peppered harder than he did.
Hugh Freeze?
Yeah. It's almost like everyone else was waiting on each other to, ask the more uncomfortable questions, and they never came. I picture him walking out of the room going, "What? That's it?"
Wow. I didn't think he would get those questions. We talked about it. It's like Liberty buffed enough of that away.
Huh.
But let me ask you this, though, because Dunaway posed this question, and we hadn't unleashed ours yet. Not Saban, not Smart, and not Kelly. Who's the best coach in the SEC?
You take the 3 obvious ones off the top.
And the reason I asked that, we're talking about Freeze, I think you make an argument.
You could easily make that
I
argument.
mean, I think it's Stoops, just based on what he's done at Kentucky.
That's the only other place I was going to go. Stoops or Hugh Freeze. And if someone argues against Hugh Freeze, it's not going to be football related. They're just going to let the emotion get in the way. Because, I mean, if you look at the guy's resume and you look at his
he's never had a losing season.
And had double-digit wins everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
Even at the NAIA level, he had double-digit wins. And so I hear that all the time. I mean, well, Hugh Freeze, like what? Finish the sentence. You're going to say something dumb you saw on Twitter. You're not actually going to talk football with me. So I actually think I'd go with Freeze. I actually agree with you.
Yeah, when they get on the field this year, they're going to look totally different roster-wise. But the work Hugh has done with Auburn, how much of the gap do you think he's closed when we finally see that product on the field between not necessarily the Georgia and the LSU, the 2 division champions, but maybe that next tier right under them?
I think he's right when he says he has no idea. I mean, he's knowledgeable enough to know, okay, I got better players here now. They have more 4- and 5-star rated players from the portal than anyone. And so, yeah, the gap closed, but I mean, it's a significant enough gap to where I wouldn't entertain like, all right, watch out Georgia, watch out Alabama. But here's the thing about that. The whole ability to put yourself in position to have a puncher's chance. you hope to accumulate enough athletes, not to where you say, all right, we're on par with Alabama now. You hope to recruit enough athletes to be able to do what Malzahn did a couple times, which is, no, we don't recruit heads up with you. But guess what? We leveraged this guy and that matchup and this particular position group that afternoon the right way, and we had you in a dogfight in the fourth quarter, and then we let Jordan-Hare Stadium take over. And you could rinse, repeat that for the Georgia game. That's the first game they go on the road for. They're going to be huge underdogs in that. They could stand no chance of competing with the former version of the roster. They may still not, but at least now you give yourself enough fizz in the Coke, as Meemaw would say.
I love it.
To
good sponsor too.
Yeah, to at least burn the throat a little bit.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman. We were talking about him earlier, and they were 7-6 last year. And I'm like, go back to the Chad Morris days. It's not like they fell apart, and they had so many close losses last year. I mean, they were really close, and you've got obviously KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders coming back. I mean, that's one of the best 1-2 punches in college football. I don't know what to expect, though, because we were talking about the SEC West again, but Arkansas could be better this year, and their record could be exactly the same.
Yeah, I thought they got some good pieces out of the portal, too. I mean, they had the first portal decommitment and recommitment from the kid from North Texas.
Somebody had to be first.
Yeah, welcome to 2023.
Yeah.
I was up there for game 1. They played Cincinnati last year, and I thought it was real interesting because I got there on like Thursday or Friday, and I went and I met their nutrition staff, strength and conditioning staff, and everyone was in love with those folks. Then come season's end, they finished with the record you talked about there, 7-6.
3-5 in conference.
And they made some changes, but it wasn't – the coordinator moves got all the headlines. They completely flushed nutrition. They completely flushed strength and conditioning. And the more feedback I got from up there, they talked about trouble behind the scenes, a little bit of dissension. Everyone wasn't on the same page. And, I mean, they kind of talked about those departments as contributing to it. Whatever that means is whatever that means. My point there is, you're talking about how hard the West is to figure out. That's just with the stuff we can see on a preview magazine page. What if, for all we know, like nutrition or strength and conditioning in Arkansas is 13% better this year, however you quantify that, and that's the difference in the outcome of a game? It's one of many reasons it's impossible to handicap that stuff even when it looks clear, but especially when it looks hazy.
Okay, we're going to – Josh, I think, is going to stay with us to the top of the hour. LT is about to tell us about precision sports. But I got to tell you, Josh, you said when we first got here to your city – that you look forward to seeing the media by day 3 or day 4 because you know this city and you're going to see who Nashville got. And who got. So other than our social media director who's getting revved up and warmed up in the bullpen for another night on Nashville, it got me last night.
You've looked haggard.
I look haggard now?
No, I ain't talking about Merle either. Every time I refresh Twitter, I'm looking at Dunway and new levels of debauchery out here. I thought you were here to work.
We almost got a tattoo last night.
And it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, we started at 4:00. Well, actually before that, when Shannon Terry was here, we opened a new bottle of Dickel 15, I believe was the label. And we did one shot with him, and then the whole 4 to 5 hour we drank with Brandon Marcello, your friend, and then we stayed afterwards. LT left instantly, and we finished the bottle, and then we started getting drinks up from the bar, and we stayed here, and then we went out to get a tattoo. And
for my defense, I had no idea they were going to hang out here and drink all night.
Yeah, and as my wife would say, thank God that there were so many bachelorettes in town. The 2 tattoo parlors we went to
had a line out the door.
And it could not get in there and get my first ever tattoo.
Yeah, what's that line for? It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday in Nashville.
Tuesday in Nashville. So your city, 1-0 on me.
What's more obnoxious to you, all of the construction or the pedal bikes?
The pedal bikes, the construction doesn't slow me down. I mean, if you know where you're going, you can navigate your way. They call me the navigator for a reason. But there is no dodging those pedal bikes. And the thing about it is, long ago they took over the streets and the scooters as well.
Oh, the scooters are awful.
It's to where the horses don't even piss you off anymore. The horse-drawn carriages, they're like grandfathered in. But the pedal bikes and the people on there having no clue where they are anyway.
Yeah.
And all I'm trying to do is get home.
Oh, I was behind one of the little scooters. Those things are so dangerous, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
And you know what's going to suck is you shouldn't text and drive, but some 16-year-old's going to be texting. They're going to hit a tourist. They're going to kill a tourist, and then their life's going to be over.
I was waiting on the sidewalk for my Uber Eats order to get here the other day. And there was a girl. I thought you were going like this. There was a girl on a scooter texting.
Oh, no.
Front wheel got wobbly. She's at full speed, which is like 25 miles an hour on those things. She was airborne for a second and just face looked like street pizza.
No. Okay, that's awful.
Did all I could do, and that is watch it happen and look right back down for my order.
Oh, gosh. Was she with anybody?
Yeah, whole group saw it.
At least she had support.
She said not a word.
Yeah.
She picked up her phone.
Yep.
She saddled back up. And she continued on her way.
Yeah, that's all you could do.
She could try out for the Predators. She's a hockey player.
She didn't even peel the skin off. She just got up and kept going, man. All right, Precision Sports gets us to break, and then we'll come back more Pate.
For orthopedic care in Birmingham, remember this number, 205-512-3885. Orthopedic care. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics providers believe these two words are better together. The Precision Orthopedic team of surgeons, specialists, and staff are recognized not only for positive patient outcomes, but also for the way they care. Make an appointment with a Precision Sports provider today. Again, call 205-512-3885 or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
This is TNR in Nashville. Stay with us.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
The Next Round is live in Nashville, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Follow along on all of our social media accounts and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. Our Media Days coverage is brought to you by Wayne's Pest Control, Champies, Tommy James Law, and Johnston RV.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
If you've listened to us on the Next Round for any amount of time, you know I love grilling. Ryan Brown here. I'm going to let you in on my secret. Moore's marinades and sauces. They can be the secret sauce for your grilling and backyard barbecues. I love it on burgers, chicken, steak, pork, and even on my veggies. And one thing I really love, less sodium and a great hickory flavor you can taste in every bite. Also, don't sleep on that buffalo wing sauce from Moore's Marinade. See why grill masters everywhere prefer Moore's Marinade and wing sauce. Get recipe ideas and grilling inspiration at mooresmarinades.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
When choosing a lawyer, the most important factors are trust, experience, and results. Tommy James of the Tommy James Law Firm checks all these boxes. With more than 25 years of experience, he will take care of your legal needs. Anything from car accidents to wrongful death cases, Tommy has done it all. Case evaluations are free, so if you're looking for a lawyer to handle any type of personal injury case, call him at 205-259-1725 or check out TommyJamesLaw.com. Call today or email Tommy at TommyJamesLaw.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Next Round is live in Nashville, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Follow along on all of our social media accounts and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. Our Media Days coverage is brought to you by Wayne's Pest Control, Champies, Tommy James Law, and Johnston RV.
Back with you on the next round. All of our coverage brought to you by mybookie.ag, as Brown was just talking about in the break. Again, if we want to sign up in time for football season, how do we do it?
You go to mybookie.ag and don't forget to enter code next round to get that sign-on bonus up to $1,000 at mybookie.ag, code next round.
All right. So Josh Pate's here, late kick Josh, a guy who continues to grow with you, the college football fan, one of the voices of college football that a lot of our viewers and listeners turn to. And so we're sitting here at SEC Media Days, and I look at the quarterbacks in this league, and there's some really good ones, but I don't know if I've ever seen some big quarterback questions of really good football teams. Like, I don't know what's going on in Tuscaloosa. You could tell me any one of the three starts. I don't know what's going to happen there. I like the guy at Texas A&M in Wegman, but is he really ever going to live up to that? I mean, you go around the league, there's quarterback questions everywhere. What do you think of the quarterbacks in the league this year?
Well, there's not a Caleb Williams, obviously.
Right.
Did you guys have Saban on today?
Well, we did not have Nick on today, no.
So I assume you listened to a lot of what he said.
Yes.
I get the vibe from him. I don't ever want to call a quarterback competition overblown because it's a huge deal. But I almost get the vibe from him, the same one I get about his coordinators. I have thought for months now, he looks at this coordinator thing and thinks if my team is wired the right way mentally, there are 25 different guys out there I could have as my coordinators, and I'd win because I'm going to give them the best talent so I can win. I think he looks at the quarterback position, and I think he knows what they have in their running back stable. I think he is supremely confident in what they have up front on the offensive line, probably along with that offensive line coach in Wolford that is better than the previous two. And I think he understands the potential their wide receiver core has. But go back to the first two. I think they believe they could sledgehammer their way to 10 wins. And the surest test of that will be week 2 against Texas. Because in week 2, all the talk all week will be about how one side has Quinn Ewers and the other side has who? I mean, they played Middle Tennessee State, I think, week 1. So even then, you won't have learned anything. And I remember so vividly when Michigan played Penn State last year. Penn State has Sean Clifford, a lot of experience. And Michigan said, wait, here's the problem. You guys don't match up with us up front. And we're going to prove that over and over and over again. And they ran the ball like 60 times on them. They put up over 400 yards on the ground. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. You're just totally defenseless until the clock says zeros in the fourth quarter. And I cannot wait to see if that's Alabama's approach. Because once upon a time, it would have been.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you got into the habit of thinking they're going to have a Heisman caliber quarterback every year. And he told us when he sat down with us today, he said, man, we got way too dependent on Bryce Young last year. And we didn't control the line of scrimmage. We didn't do the things that we normally do. Well, that to me screams we're going to emphasize that this year. And if they do, you could paint me a picture that has Jalen Milroe leading that. You could paint me a picture with any three of them. I happen to think that Ty Simpson is still my favorite in that quarterback battle, but it's like 55% confidence. I just think they can win if they play that style of football with any of a number of options.
Well, you know, I probably blew this number up when I told these guys I think there's probably 35 or 40 starting quarterbacks that could start for Alabama this year. I don't know if it's that high. I will guarantee it's 20 plus. And Bo Nix is one of those guys.
Oh, well, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Now,
but how weird is that to say at Alabama, where they've been quarterback wise and where we saw Bo in this conference?
I think, look, and this is not to sidetrack on Bo Nix a lot. I've talked to you guys like 3 times about him. I thought he was great in high school. That's why he got recruited the way he did. Horribly underdeveloped at Auburn. That is what it is. But when he went to Oregon, all of a sudden he pops this big year last year, and people think he got reinvented. And there's some Bo Nix 2.0. No, man, it's like those of us who were saying he's capable of it were always right. He would just needed to leave to show you he was actually capable of it. Well, you could apply that same logic to Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. Those weren't low 3 stars. Like both of those guys had a ton of offers. So if they really whiffed on their evaluations of those guys, Alabama whiffed with the rest of the country. And normally that's not the case if that's what it looks like. Normally they just haven't been developed properly. And that's where the whole addition of Tommy Rees comes in. That's where a lot of the adjustments behind the scenes they may make any given year with, like we talked about, nutrition, strength, and conditioning. I'm always harping on that stuff because it matters, but we can't quantify it. I will tell you this. The biggest story is nobody transferred when Buckner came in. And number 2, you cannot split reps 3 ways in the fall. You cannot do it.
No.
So almost immediately, like out of summer workout feedback, they've got to whittle it down to 2. And that's going to be a huge, like, week 1 of fall camp story.
I am going to ask you a fill in the blank question, and I'm going to give you a second to think about it.
Okay.
Tommy Rees will be considered successful if fill in the blank. Johnston RV Center makes a sweet southern summer for you with a newer used RV from Johnston RV Center. New travel trailers starting at just $139 a month. That's less than $5 a day. 2023 fifth wheels, $439 a month. Closeout pricing still on some in the 2022 category. Military discounts for all active and retired military personnel. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. Tommy Rees will be considered successful if
Alabama leads the SEC in rushing.
Ooh, interesting.
Because it's what they're equipped to do. And I think a lot of folks got really drunk on understanding, man, we could throw the ball 400 yards per game. But Alabama fans of any age also have that special compartment in their heart that hadn't been filled in a little while, where you go into a game and know, man, we can just bloody people
That's right.
today.
Yep.
And that's not that long ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, and one guy that sat in that chair right there today was J.C. Latham.
Yes.
And he basically said, you know, people, I can't remember exactly how I worded it, and you could go watch it. We've got the interview out. It's a really good interview with him. And he basically said, you know, people said they didn't want to play us last year. But he said, people used to be scared to death of us.
You remember Gone in 60 Seconds, the movie?
Yeah.
You remember when Nick Cage comes back to town because he's got to rescue, spoiler alert, because he's got to rescue his younger brother?
Right.
And he meets with his
Do you
mom.
remember who played the younger brother?
I remember his name's Kip. I don't remember.
Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah, it's a weird name.
Yeah.
Sounds like a North Carolina quarterback.
I thought it was a terrible movie. Anyway, it does.
We can talk off air about that because we already talked about Twister. So Nick Cage comes back to town. He meets with his mom and he says, I got to do something, but it means doing things. It means doing things I told you I'd never do again. And it's almost like you're trying to go somewhere in your mind because you know you're about to put something on someone. That's kind of how I feel. Any of those Alabama offensive linemen talk, the running backs talk, Nick Saban kind of masks it a little more. But, dude, when they get in staff meetings, it's like it's so plain as day. Look at these guys. We're too deep with these guys. The rest of the country wanted on the offensive line. 4 of these tailbacks could rush for 1,000 yards if we featured them. Why are we messing around with this? Like it's really much. It's paint by numbers. When you play the way they're capable of playing, you don't just get to decide that 1 week versus 1 week. But when you commit to that, you saw what the results were. It's why they used to be so razor efficient, and they didn't have what they had last year, which was a bunch of one-possession games because the game was never in doubt because their sheer physical advantage didn't allow it to be in doubt unless they were -5 turnovers.
Yeah. The old ball coach likes it that way too, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I think he did and does, but I also think it was smart of him to acknowledge, well, if you can go get a Tua, go get a Tua.
Yeah.
Go get a Bryce Young, go get a Bryce Young. You can't turn those down.
You know,
but I never worried if you're an Alabama fan, I think you feel this. Watching Alabama, I was always like, okay, if Tua's in the tent, then it disrupts what that offensive team can be. When you know Bryce was hurt, it disrupted what that team could be. I always felt like if a running back got hurt, they had another one that was going to be there. It seems to be a little bit more reliable. I sort of like what you're saying there. I like that direction.
No, I was just going to say, I just think it's really ironic that Tyler Buckner's here now because of the relationship with Tommy Rees, and you had an opportunity to get a Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam Hartman's playing at a lesser program.
And he's playing at a program where Tommy Rees brought him in from the portal, which is also interesting. You know, the guy allegedly brought down here to play for Tommy Rees, he portaled over him. Tommy Rees himself portaled over him. So,
and I'm a Hartman fan.
I
know it's interesting offense with Dave Clawson. I just think he did a lot with not a lot of talent around him. I think.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sitting here thinking you're talking about Buckner for some reason. No, Hartman. Yeah, Hartman's a really good player. Dude, he owns all the record book over there, and he's going up to Notre Dame. That's going to be a fun one to watch too, for totally different reasons. But Leary at Kentucky's the same way.
Yeah, we've been talking about him.
It's just I think people have talked about Hartman nationally. No one's talking about Devin Leary.
Do you think Leary, and I said this earlier, I think Leary is a better college quarterback than Will Levis?
Completely agree. I can't even believe that's debatable. Like, honestly, here's the way I look at it. If I made it illegal for you to see mock drafts or the NFL draft, if you only had what you saw him do in college,
he doesn't get drafted.
I don't even care about the draft.
Yeah.
I just want you to judge him as a college quarterback, because every week last year, I kept having to hear about how Kentucky's got an outside shot in this game because of Will Levis. And I'm like, You're looking at mock drafts. You're listening to someone in Bristol, Connecticut tell you this guy's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, did he ever win a game for him?
He was never the difference in a game. And I could say the same about Anthony Richardson, aside from that Utah game. Those guys never changed the outcome of games. And I always think a first-round caliber quarterback is capable of doing that. Cam Newton did that. Those two guys didn't do that.
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
They did rely on him too much last year, too. Josh Pate, man, when's the next show drop?
We'll do it tomorrow night from 5 blocks down here in beautiful downtown Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, 5 blocks, or as I like to call it, 20 minutes.
I found the best view in Nashville last night.
Yeah.
The Proof Bar and the W Hotel.
The W gets rave reviews.
It is unbelievable because I thought Bourbon Steak.
Yeah, the one we were at on top of the JW. That's a great view.
I think this view's better.
Okay,
I really do. Yep.
Yeah, Bourbon Steak's pretty good.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty pricey too.
It is
We're
not cheap.
all Ryan Brown.
Well, I mean, company card. Company card goes a long way.
What's the company called again?
Well, it's called Double Down Media. I mean, somebody's got to pay it at some point.
Double Down Media. I like that. All right. Top of the hour here. Legacy. LegacyCreditUnion.com is the website. Go follow Josh. We love this guy so much. He's been a friend to us since we started this platform. He was in this neighborhood before we were, and he has given us great advice and still does. Legacy's willing to give you great advice as well about your financial, whether it's a good place to get a car or truck loan, everyday checking. How about lifestyle loans, right? You got some unexpected medical expenses. Maybe you want to take that dream vacation. Maybe put that pool in the backyard for the kids as they become teenagers. You can do that with Legacy. And they've been a proud supporter of UAB athletics now for over 60 years right there in Birmingham. Go check them out online, LegacyCreditUnion.com, LegacyCreditUnion.com, federally insured by the NCUA. One more hour to go, live right here from Nashville.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
If you have water or fire damage to your home or business, DryTech is here to help. They work for the customer, not the insurance company. They respond quickly, within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They have 5 crews ready to go 24/7, built to go on the job when it happens. DryTech has 65-star Google reviews, so call DryTech, not the insurance company. Find more online at mydrytech.com. MyBookie.ag brings you our coverage of SEC Media Days 2023 live from Nashville. We'll be bringing you in-depth interviews with players, coaches, media members, and more, plus our live show every single day at a special time each afternoon. Be sure to follow us on all social media at Next Round Live so you don't miss a thing. SEC Media Days 2023 from Nashville, also brought to you by Moore's Marinades and Wing Sauces, Precision Sports Medicine, Michelson Laser Vision, and Woodbridge Wines. If you've listened to us on The Next Round for any amount of time, you know I love grilling. Ryan Brown here. I'm going to let you in on my secret. Moore's Marinades and Sauces. They can be the secret sauce for your grilling and backyard barbecues. I love it on burgers, chicken, steak, pork, and even on my veggies. And one thing I really love, less sodium and a great hickory flavor you can taste in every bite. Also, don't sleep on that buffalo wing sauce from Moore's Marinade. See why grill masters everywhere prefer Moore's Marinade and wing sauce. Get recipe ideas and grilling inspiration at mooresmarinades.com.
For 50 years, our friends at Wayne's have been doing things around your house that you don't have time to do. Warm weather is coming. You want that lawn looking great. You want mosquitoes not around. Our friends at Wayne's, they can help you out. Right now, they will do $50 off for each of those services to continue to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Again, our friends at Wayne's, they take care of all of us here on The Next Round. You don't want those mosquitoes. You want the lawn looking great. Call them today, 866-WAYNES1 or call Waynes.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Did you tweak your shoulder putting up Christmas decorations? Injure your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard? Or hurt your knees getting up from the couch at halftime? Let 2023 be the year Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Call 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885. Or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the live show. We've got trash coming up a little bit later. Champy'sChicken.com. While I tell you about Champy's, can we get Little T in the chair over here? Talk to her about a little bit of what we saw in the last segment. I don't think anybody saw it live on the air, but we'd like to. Josh Pate walked in the room and said that is one of the 12 all-time moments he's ever seen in his days of covering the SEC. Little T joins us. Champy's Chicken is a champion place right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling's place right there. Those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You have also the Southern Fried Chicken, all the great sides and everything. Champy'sChicken.com for dinner tonight and all the tailgates. Champy'sChicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You got a little nap in today.
I did.
Yeah, because you've been working hard, 24/7 content. You've been dropping it out. How can you sleep when we're doing a show right here? Could the voices just soothe you right into a good night's sleep?
A little thing called narcolepsy.
Yeah, that'll do it. It's a medical condition.
Yeah.
I can sleep anywhere. which is
Anywhere?
A blessing and a curse.
I had a fraternity brother that had narcolepsy, and he fell asleep in his car out back at the fraternity house, and his foot was on the pedal.
Oh my God!
It burned the no, it was in park.
Oh,
It
thank
burned
God.
the engine completely up. He also almost burned his apartment down.
Oh.
He fell asleep in the Domino's Pizza parking lot. I mean, if you got narcolepsy, it's like plug unpull or unplugged.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Well, I only bring it up because I was sitting here and I've never, ever in the middle of a show before been jealous of somebody who was asleep on the carpet.
He envied you.
I was sitting here going, oh my goodness, I maybe have slept maybe 90 minutes.
But that was me yesterday. I was going to angle this out a little bit and climb behind there and take a nap.
I mean, and I could do it. You could finish the show for me and I could get over in the corner there. And if it wasn't for my snoring, you guys would not see me again the rest of the day. I could hit the carpet back there and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And there's an
It felt
offer. If
good.
you'd like to fill in for me the rest of the show, I will jump out.
I mean, whatever you want.
Hey,
Donald.
I know head of security now. I probably get you a side room
Or a
from
closet.
or a closet.
Well, I was laying on the couch out there a little while ago,
And I told you.
and I could have easily fallen asleep, but I was like, I don't know if I should just lay out here in the public.
Yeah.
So I came back in
So you
here.
came back on our set and did it.
Yeah.
I've had security tap me for that before.
Have
in
you
a
really?
hotel.
In a hotel?
Yeah.
Like sleeping in the public?
Yeah, there's no sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. Either you're in a room or you're out of here.
Or you're on the
One of
street. One of the two.
One of the two. She's Taylor Corn, an amazing job with our social media accounts since she started as an Auburn grad. And even superheroes take a nap every now and then. She got one in, which means great content coming up later tonight.
Oh,
she's recharged, ready to go.
right.
So
Ready.
what can we see tonight? What are we going to see tonight?
What are we going to see tonight? We were going to do, we tried yesterday, and that's why I ended up in a cowboy shirt to do some man on the street stuff with bachelorette parties. You guys saw a ton of them last night. So the best time to get them is closer to the weekend and obviously the later at night.
Yeah. We were not out at an ideal time yesterday, I wouldn't say.
Did we
And-
post, what was her name, Kenna?
No, I'm gonna wait till we have more so I can
Okay.
just make a conglomeration. If that's a word.
Yeah.
Is Dunaway tattoo a possibility again?
I don't know. Don't know.
I don't think there's enough alcohol right now. I would say no, but it's in play. I mean,
you were in shops last night. It's crazy to think you've.
I
come
was
this far.
I was disappointed last night.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
I saw you.
disappointed.
Yeah.
Because part of it was going to be just the whole experience. The first tattoo came when we were all like champions walking through the streets of
Like
Nashville,
Like champions. I felt like champion last time.
overturning things.
I got a text from you of Marshall Tucker.
I know. It's
I just saw it this morning.
Did you get a chuckle out of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I would have done it last night. Right now, I don't feel that engine is revved up to the same spot yet, but you never know. You never know.
I had a feeling yesterday was going to get weird when we started drinking the Dickel.
That 2:30.
Yeah. But I mean, that was
shows though.
I'll tell you, man, it was probably one of the top 10 fun shows we've ever done.
I would agree.
Yeah, the Sunday night specialty show at the Floribama.
That will always hold a special place in our heart.
Oh my gosh, that was
I
incredible.
mean, people just parachuted into our show at the end. That was the most random thing.
And I went to get us drinks, and the parachuters came on.
I
Didn't
know
they?
they did.
We
Yeah.
did.
It was an Australian wearing no clothes, basically.
Well, Taylor, thank you for all you do for us, and especially, I mean, you've made it fun.
Yeah, you have.
Thanks,
What do you want
guys.
people to do? What do you want people to do on social media? What do they need to follow?
Follow us on every social media platform.
Can you
that
give us a prediction for the SEC West this year?
Predicted order of finish.
Realistic or
Yes.
hopeful?
Your
Yes.
prediction.
We know you'll pick Auburn if it's not realistic. Be realistic.
Say it. Say it.
No, I'm not saying.
I think we know.
LSU.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Just because I don't like Alabama very much. I don't know. Alabama's confusing me.
I think they're
Alabama's
confusing a lot of
confusing
people.
me bad because of the quarterback situation. But I feel like it could be one of those years where they're incredible, like most years, sadly. Or it could be a shit show. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a breakdown right there.
I don't think it's gonna be a shit show.
Boy, somebody give on.
It is.
Oh, I know you do.
But I don't know. I mean, it's not. It's not. I agree with you. It's not. But what if it is? I mean, a bad quarterback can ruin a team, right?
Yeah, you've seen that.
I mean,
yeah.
I
know
mean,
from experience.
It's time to let the audience vote, though. I think that at some point we got to find out, does Taylor need her on camera? I'm just sitting here watching you today from the very first time we started putting you on the air, how good you've gotten as a broadcaster.
I know.
Thank you,
No,
gentlemen.
she's going to do multiple stuff coming up this fall.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to make sure we got plans to have her on camera. Because man, she's growing.
She might be doing some handicapping shows too.
Oh, handicapping.
Yeah, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable.
All right, little T, thank you. Part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. Again, I got the procedure done 2 decades ago. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. If you wear contacts, you're wasting money each and every year on the contacts and solution. Do what I did 2 decades ago. 205-969-8100. You can go online, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, how many SEC quarterbacks are better than Alabama's quarterback? You're
We
giving
don't
me-
even know who Alabama's quarterback is.
I know
pick,
KJ.
Pick one.
Okay.
I know KJ Jefferson is.
All right, I'll give you that.
I know Jaden Daniels.
I'll
is.
give you that.
I think. Oh, I know Devin Leary is.
Is he at Kentucky?
We'll see. I think Joe Milton will put up bigger numbers just because of the offense. I like Connor Wigman a lot. But I'm starting to run out of gas here. Spencer Rattler is just too inconsistent.
Yeah, there's no way, there's not an Alabama fan alive that would take Spencer Rattler.
But I'll just
over the unknown in Tuscaloosa.
No,
You
but
give me that.
only because of his inconsistency.
Well,
because
I mean, that's
the
part of
top-
being a quarterback.
Yeah, top tier Spencer Rattler.
There's no doubt. But,
to do anything
but
for him.
mid-tier Spencer Rattler can absolutely play you out of a game.
But I would love to see top tier Spencer Rattler with an offensive line and running backs like he has it out.
I don't disagree, assuming you got that every game. I mean, how much of what Spencer Rattler does when he falls apart? I mean, he had that at Oklahoma. You don't think he had good personnel around him at Oklahoma?
He did.
And
Yeah,
he lost
look,
the job.
But he was he a freshman or sophomore?
Look, I mean, the Spencer Rattler you got against Tennessee last year,
incredible.
Right now, I'd be picking his team to win the national championship if you get that every year.
Now,
every Saturday.
And I agree with Josh when he was talking about these mock drafts are ridiculous. But I've seen Spencer Rattler in a couple of first rounds.
Wow.
Just because of that position is so stupid.
Well, I'll tell you this: I don't think Peyton Thorne can start for Alabama.
I don't know. Again, it's just so hard. It is so hard not having seen these guys enough to make these declarations like that.
Right.
I don't know that he could.
So a guy like AJ Swan was really good as a freshman last year for Vanderbilt, and he doesn't have any talent around him. What could he do with a bunch of talent?
So when was the last time you would say that about Alabama, by the way, that we're that deep into the list since their quarterback would pop in? Because even, McElroy, game manager, was a lot higher rated than we're projecting these guys right now. How far back do we have to go?
It's hard to remember this far back, but I do feel like that the year Coker ultimately was the starter and they went with Cooper Bateman. The fact that Coker transferred in and Blake Sims still started in front of him that first year, I think had a lot of fans thinking, well, maybe Coker, you assume when a guy transfers in like Peyton Thorne, right, that he's coming in to be the quarterback. Why else would you transfer in? And Coker transferred in and didn't win the job over Sims, even though Sims set a school record. I think a lot of people looked at that and thought, well, Coker's not what they thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I think that was the only year I can remember being concerned for the quarterback position. Alabama fans out there being concerned. Because you even go back to both Dunaway and I thought Bryce Young would be the starter. You said Mac Jones.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Doesn't matter. Either one of them would have been dynamite.
Either one. Yeah. You go back to Blake Barnett and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but
they quickly fixed that.
They quickly
but
fixed
I don't
it,
think Bama fans were worried about
No, I think Bama fans were excited about Blake Barnett. I mean, Blake Barnett was a highly recruited quarterback. I mean, and that's before Alabama had Tua and Bryce Young and those top-end quarterbacks. I think a lot of Alabama fans thought Blake Barnett was going to be that guy.
Oh, yeah, that was the whole belief is, and now they've got their blue chip
That's
quarterback.
right.
They've got their Elite 11 winning quarterback.
Yeah, they were wrong. Everybody was wrong, but still, I think that's the way Alabama fans felt.
Hey, can we bring on our friend over here because he gave me bad info that I was spewing all week?
All right, we'll put Grant Furking in the hot seat here as you come on and get the headset in. Lance is going to tell us about Woodhouse Day Spa.
Can't even make eye contact.
Tell us about Woodhouse Day Spa. I can't believe he's putting you on the spot live like this.
I feel I'm going to apologize ahead of time.
And I'm not going to say I didn't mishear it because this is
certainly
Nashville.
could have, yes.
Treat that special someone to the gift of luxury from Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. 70 options they've got there: massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Gift cards are an option. You can buy them online. WoodhouseDaySpas.com. That's Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop by the Summit Shopping Center. So we were talking about Tennessee. You were talking about tempo. And I thought you told me they ran 100 plays in 12 or 13 games last year.
Yeah, it's actually impressive, and I think when you get to that number,
but it's not true.
Well, people are telling us it's not true. The Tennessee's offense ran 100 plays.
That's what we were told.
I don't think that's true.
You were on the team, weren't you?
Yeah, that's what we were told at the end of the year.
But he doesn't count on the sidelines. He's playing. He's
I'll pull it up. Hang on.
One thing that's so unique about getting to as many plays as we run, though, is people think that we throw the ball a lot more than we do.
Oh,
it's a very run-heavy offense,
right?
And that's the biggest misconception. It's like, oh, you guys just throw the ball all game, when we really don't. I mean, we run the ball 70% of the time.
It's a little bit like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin gets labeled as having this wide open, throw it all over the field offense, but we've pointed out many times Lane Kiffin runs the ball. His run schemes are better than anybody.
Lincoln Riley runs the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of that is just if you have a high scoring offense, you just ultimately think you're chucking the football around.
It's amazing though. So the first day Josh and the whole staff got to campus was kind of teaching the philosophy of the offense and the thinking behind it. And, you would think on day one, you start getting the playbook, that you're watching film. We spent literally the whole first day going over these foundational, it's the cardinal sin if you commit one in this offense, starting with, if you're a ball carrier, whether you're tight end, quarterback, running back, receiver, whatever it is, and you get tackled outside the hash on the sideline, wherever it is, the number one cardinal sin is you cannot give the ball to any of the officials on the sideline. If you ever watch a game, I mean, you get tackled, there's a referee literally in your face. I mean, they're standing there in your face. I mean, it's just so natural.
Don't give it to the slow guy that's got to throw it in.
And so what we're trained to do is whenever you get tackled, you get up and you run the ball either to the umpire or the center judge, and they have, one of the GAs years ago did some statistics on something of how many times they watched all of our games, all of Heupel's game when he was at Oklahoma, Mizzou, whatever, UCF. How many times on a continuous tape, the exchange between officials on the sideline and the center judge, the ball was dropped. Because it's usually, two 50-year-old dudes 40 pounds overweight.
Sell insurance during the week.
100%.
So
right?
what happens is they do the underhand toss. The umpire misses it, but he can't move because he's got it spotted. So now somebody's got to track it down and get
then
back.
we're out of our tempo.
That's right.
And so, like, if we don't have our tempo, that's our identity. And so, it's amazing. You run the ball in there, lightly toss it to them, and it's always underhand toss. Like it took. I mean, all the way through the first spring, for guys just to be accustomed to that. And so we actually have equipment managers that dress as referees every day at practice.
Oh, please tell me someone put fat suits on.
Some are naturally that way, right? And they literally, when we get tackled in scrimmages, are like overly asking for the ball. Like, come on, and just to try to train the mindset to run it in there.
It is painful when you see a great tempoed offense when they're thrown out of whack.
Yeah.
And that happened against Georgia last year. I mean, Georgia did a masterful job. How did they do such a good job of completely taking the game plan away?
Well, in our offense, obviously penalties kill you because that just throws tempo out of whack. We had a lot of false starts against Georgia. We just had a lot of playing penalties too. But one of the other keys to us succeeding with our tempo is we really get in our groove as soon as we get a first down. If we get a first down, we can start rolling. But it's also, I mean,
So you're telling me in-game bet on Tennessee, if they get a first down, take them to score right there?
Take it, baby. But another unique thing is against Georgia last year, just the environment, which by the way, Georgia isn't a loud stadium. The two games we lost last year were both on the road, and it was South Carolina and Georgia, so Sanford and Willie B. Those stadiums aren't loud, like they're not intimidating to play in. Like South Carolina's intimidating to play in, when they have momentum and they're playing Sandstorm and the towels are going and everything. But like besides that, I mean, they're not big. Sanford's open on one end, so like the noise escapes. But like some of these other states, I mean,
did you ever get to Jordan-Hare? Did you ever play Jordan-Hare?
We did.
Yeah. What do you think of games there?
We actually went twice. We went 18 with Pruitt, and then actually went twice with Pruitt because we went during COVID too.
Yeah.
Both times we're there. I love that place.
Yeah. That's a great atmosphere.
I actually spent a lot of time. My older sister played basketball at Auburn for Terry Williams when she was there, and so I went down to Auburn a lot. I love games there.
Yeah.
Great environment. The video board is huge.
Yes. But it seems intimidating, right?
Absolutely.
And some of it's I guess the way it's shaped, but the students do a good job there. The fans do the game day ops. That seems intimidating. Obviously, everyone talks about Baton Rouge.
You play there too,
right? And honestly, we were up.
Well, that was an 11 o'clock game.
28 at halftime or something.
11 o'clock game, though. I don't know if you got the full dose.
Oh,
they were walking to walk-ons.
Well, I was actually kind of disappointed when the kick time came out because when you have your crossover games, they only come once every 7 years or something.
Yeah.
You play
you wanted night game at Tiger Stadium.
Well, I wanted to see everyone all boozed up and everything. At 11, I mean, they were still going hard, but I mean, it wasn't the same.
I've always said that my favorite place to watch a game is Neyland when you guys are good.
Yeah. I mean, last year was like a dream because you had Alabama and we were ranked like 5. You had Florida at home. And then like,
did you think
they've taken night games to another level there too, when they turn the lights down and they put Spotlight, the Power Tee opening up, and fireworks going. I mean, and so like Kentucky, it was day before Halloween, so we were like all black, and they did like a spooky. So like they've like Danny White and that whole crew has just revolutionized kind of the in-game experience for fans. And I mean, I'm sure it's not going to get any worse because now they're about to build a battery like entertainment district around Neyland.
Right. I was in Knoxville for the game last year. These two, I think both of y'all went to the game.
Yeah, Dunaway did. I did not. No.
But I watched it in a sports bar, and it was just a roller coaster of emotion. But I never thought Alabama was going to lose because of Bryce Young.
Right.
And I don't know how you guys felt on the sideline. I know you're always confident as a player, but that guy was so damn good.
So 2 things about that game. First of all, like if we would have, because we were up, I think 14 at halftime or something, and I'm just thinking back through in the locker room, I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually going to happen. Like, we've never been up on Alabama ever, and we're winning at halftime by 2 or 3 scores. And I'm like, if we would have won that game by, say, 3 scores, 21 or whatever, like it still wouldn't have been the same as we go up, they go up. You know, we had the strip sack fumble for a score. We go down, they miss a field goal. You know, we complete 2 passes with 3 seconds left, field goal to win the game. Like that is you're sitting on the bus like, hey, script this game to be the most badass, majestic, ending. And that's it right there.
Yeah.
And secondly, when we did have that strip sack fumble, playing Tennessee football for 6 years.
Oh, I was there. I said, that's it.
Well,
Alabama's
going
to win.
That felt like here we go.
Yeah, that
It's
felt
almost
like
like the Florida game last year when they went and scored with like a minute left.
Yeah.
And almost came back and won. I'm like, man, like we just won't ever get it done. Like it's just never going to happen. And they went down there, that strip sack, and then they marched down the field or lining up to kick a field goal to win, and he misses it. And I'm just like, holy hell. I mean, that night was even crazier than
Dunaway
last night.
last night. It was pretty crazy. Dunaway had some of the best footage, and I'm sure you saw it indirectly. He was prepared for the students coming out of the stands when they came out. I mean, it was an awesome scene.
I remember I don't remember much from that night, but I do remember looking up in the stands and seeing a wide range of 6-year-olds crying, 16-year-olds crying, and 60-year-old men crying.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty awesome.
It was, and it was unique as like there are so many fans, and that fan base, I'll say, man, like I was there when we lost to Georgia State and BYU. What was that, 2018 or 19? And we dropped our first 2 to those 2 teams at home in Neyland and turned around and played a noon kick against, I think, UT Chat or someone. And there were still 80,000 people in the stands at a noon game. We just started 0-2 against, 2 non-Power 5 teams. And I was like, man, like this place is special. Like these people and Coach Heupel, who's embraced that tradition better than anyone from not being like an alumni from there. He's like, what you guys don't realize is the amount of, and this is true of every SEC fan base, but especially in Tennessee fans, they'll miss their rent payment that month and scrape every single dime to come watch a game.
Oh yeah.
Like
that's true in Alabama too.
Yeah. And it's like, if you can do that, I mean, that impacts people's lives. I mean, it changes their year, but with a game like that, with a performance of the season like that. And so just to see like the joy that people had with that game and then just continuing throughout the season.
And then you guys shit the bed against South Carolina.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the worst night I've ever had, because it was.
Well, you guys were in the college football playoff. I mean, we were all booking it.
I was gonna say, I mean, you had to beat 2 pretty bad teams, and you were in. It wasn't even we have a good shot. Like
right,
like
you were in.
You were in.
You're in.
Ohio State, Michigan still had to play. Like we had to beat South Carolina and go beat Vandy, and we were in. And you get there, the whole game was just really weird. You go and then you lose. First of all, if you I think we put up 42 points that game. I don't know what the statistics are. If you put 42 points up on a road game in the SEC,
you ought to win it.
I don't know what it is, but it has to be.
It's got to be pretty big.
Coach will take that.
Yeah.
And then Hendon tears his ACL. Then they storm the field. It was just like a disaster.
But we got to take a break here. But I want to tell these guys, I've been at stadiums before, and they have too. But can you feel when an upset? You don't know it at the time, but when you look back, like, dang, even getting on the bus, getting off the bus, it just never felt. It felt weird all day long. I've been in stadiums when major upsets have happened, and it just feels weird all day long. And you look back and see weird things that are not normal.
No doubt.
That happens that day.
Well, it was I kind of got that vibe in the season early on. We went on the road to Pitt early in the season and barely escaped that win. And like from that point forward, like every of the major game days and the ones that turned out to be in our favor, I would say like Florida and Alabama. We were undefeated going into those games. And so you sit there and you're like, man, like this one just feels like we have a shot to do it this year. I know in every year, even, the years we sat there and we were, 2-7 walking into a rivalry game, you never walk in truly just thinking you're going to lose. Right. I mean, it's going to be a tough battle, but I mean, you're not expecting, you're expecting to win and think you can win. But those games just, it really felt like the time was coming for us to upset them. And and we did. And the thing now with Tennessee fans is you're now expected to win those games, right? You always were, but it was like, man, we got to get over the hump. And now it's, you only win 9 or 10 games. It's a disappointment.
A couple of our great sponsors bringing us our coverage up here includes our friends at Bromberg's. If you're chasing a ring, not a championship ring, but the ring, Bromberg's are a great place to go.
Yeah, they've got obviously 2 great locations for you, Mountain Brook and the Summit. They are your diamond specialist. If you think about popping the question, go see our friends at Bromberg's, family owned and operated. Again, the diamond specialist. You can always head to the Summit location, the Mountain Brook location. You can shop online right now at brombergs.com.
MyBookie.ag bringing you everything. Quick break here. LT's got trash on the table when we come back right here on TNR.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Make this a sweet southern summer with a new or used RV from Johnston RV Center. With locations in Coleman and Decatur, they now have new travel trailers starting at just $139 per month. You can also find the lowest prices on fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. There's something for everyone. Johnston RV Center also offers a military discount and lifetime warranty for all new and used campers 2 years old or newer. For more information, visit their website at johnstonrvcenter.com or I-65 exit 304 in Coleman and 334 in Decatur.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
If you've listened to us on the next round for any amount of time, you know I love grilling. Ryan Brown here. I'm going to let you in on my secret. Moore's marinades and sauces. They can be the secret sauce for your grilling and backyard barbecues. I love it on burgers, chicken, steak, pork, and even on my veggies. And one thing I really love, less sodium and a great hickory flavor you can taste in every bite. Also, don't sleep on that buffalo wing sauce from Moore's Marinade. See why grill masters everywhere prefer Moore's Marinade and wing sauce. Get recipe ideas and grilling inspiration at mooresmarinades.com. MyBookie.ag brings you our coverage of SEC Media Days 2023 live from Nashville. We'll be bringing you in-depth interviews with players, coaches, media members, and more, plus our live show every single day at a special time each afternoon. Be sure to follow us on all social media at Next Round Live so you don't miss a thing. SEC Media Days 2023 from Nashville, also brought to you by Moore's Marinades and Wing Sauces, Precision Sports Medicine, Michelson Laser Vision, and Woodbridge Wines.
Did you tweak your shoulder putting up Christmas decorations? Injure your elbow shooting hoops in the backyard? Or hurt your knees getting up from the couch at halftime? Let 2023 be the year precision sports medicine and orthopedics gets your life back on track. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Call 205-512-3885. That's 205-512-3885. Or visit precisionsportsortho.com/2023.
Final day of SEC Media Days in Nashville tomorrow with Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Tennessee. You just heard Grant Ferking talking about his Tennessee Vols and that special season there. If you want to change the way your garage looks, something special, Tough Dog.
Yeah, Tough Dog Coatings will take care of that. These are the coatings you might have seen like in a high-end garage, car dealership, something like that, and you think it's only for commercials. Buildings. It's not residential. They came out to my house, and Jared and his crew did a wonderful job. First thing they do is they check all the cracks in the floor, and I'm talking like garage floor, basement floor, your pool surrounds. They want to make sure it's foundational, not a foundational issue, just superficial. Then they check the moisture, make sure you don't have a moisture problem. The reason they do that is they don't want their product to fail. They're going to back it up with a 15-year warranty, so they don't want it to fail. And once it passes all that, they smooth it out. They come in, they put down the coating, they add the flakes. You've already selected the color of the coating and the flakes. They got a ton to choose from. They can even put down corporate or team logos, incorporate that in the job. The before and afters you're seeing in my garage are just tremendous. It's made my garage cleaner. It's made it feel better when I walk on it. And my bare feet, I almost never put socks or shoes on when I go out in the garage now. It's actually made it smell better. I know that sounds stupid, but it really does improve the smell in your garage. It exceeds OSHA ratings for anti-slip. It will not crack or wear out like epoxy. You can do it in your garage, your basement floors, your pool surrounds. You call 205-947-3639. That is 205-947-3639 or online, toughdogggaragefloors.com. That is TUFF, toughdogggaragefloors.com.
And as always, this hour of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Check out Sterling and his crew. Great stuff there. You see them all the time on our show. We've been eating that great food for a long, long time on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Before LT gives us trash tomorrow, actually a little bit later on this evening, if you do time like I do, it's this evening until you go to sleep. 12:35 a.m., so technically tomorrow, but 12:35 a.m. they start the British Open. Rory McIlroy goes at 8:59 a.m. Birmingham time, tee time, so a lot of good TV windows there. Just had a great run at the Scottish Open to win that. Can he contend and win it this week?
Oh, he always contends. I mean, that's who Rory is, right? He almost always contends, and every major, it's just been difficult for him to close the door. I'd love to see it.
One on this course.
Yep.
In 2014.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's, and, look, I mean, I definitely would make him, by the end of the show, I'll give you my official pick. Can I do that? I mean, I would have Rory in the mix, but I'll give you my official pick by the end of the show.
Do you know what it is, or you're waiting?
I need to look at one thing.
Okay, one thing. We'll look at trash now, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Hit the big button, rock star.
Retired Army Lieutenant General Lieutenant. Oh, I'm scared. Well, Joe, are we having Hurtling joining us?
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Buying a home, major milestone in life. Getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right, who do mortgages the right way. Locally owned and operated. Mortgage Right standing by to help you today. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR or call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. I am glad you brought that up, Dunaway, because I completely forgot to put in my picks for the Open.
Oh, don't do that.
Yep. So I have got to do that at some point tonight. So I'm going to listen to Brown's expertise.
I don't know why you listen to me. I've been awful this year.
Here we go. A woman in France recently enjoying coffee with her friend was struck by a small meteorite.
Oh, that's not good luck.
Now, they're considering this an extremely rare event. I would agree with that.
Yeah, it's also extremely rare. I agree with both these things.
Now,
you guys are spot on this story so far.
A woman was chatting with her friend outside on a terrace, and she was hit in the ribs by a mysterious pebble. Quote, I heard a big boom coming from the roof. I've never heard it described as a boom instead of a boom. And the second that followed, I felt a shock on the ribs. I've never heard a shock on the ribs either.
That sounds tough, though.
I thought it was an animal. A bat, maybe, the woman said.
So at some point, this was a huge rock. And by the time it burned up and everything, when it hit her, it was a rock.
It's funny, they explain in the story, meteorites are, quote, space rocks.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
They survive their journey through the Earth's atmosphere and hit the ground. Now, it talks about this is the first confirmed case of a meteorite directly striking a person in the United States since 70 years ago.
But can we confirm that some kid behind a bush didn't just throw a pebble?
Exactly.
That it actually flew? Because would it be hot? Like, it seems to me it would be hot.
Okay.
Like
now,
it would hit her, burn her clothes, maybe burn through her flesh into a rib cage. You start smelling like it's a barbecue because it's lodged in there. It seems like it'd be hot.
Geologists said the rock appeared to contain a mixture of iron and silicone and could be a meteorite.
Well, now wait just one minute.
All these fake stories now could be.
Yeah.
Now the legitimate case was 1954, and I kind of remember
the one in Sylacauga.
Sylacauga. Yep. The girl's name, we don't have it. It said that she was hit by an 8-pound Meteorite.
Well, that sounds painful.
And the impact left her with severe bruising. I would think it would kill you.
Rockstar, don't you know that story? Didn't it come through the roof and she was like on the couch or something?
She was on the couch, but I don't remember exactly. I don't know if she was sleeping or what, but she was the first recorded version of somebody that got hit by a meteorite. So that's great for Sylacauga, Alabama. Go get them.
Well, you got to be known for something, the Marble City.
Right.
Sylacauga.
Yeah.
Got hit by a meteorite.
Marble City. If it had been a little bit smaller, it would have been like this pebble.
It would have been.
Which didn't real. No way.
But I mean, I don't know. I am so skeptical of stuff I read online, especially on social media. Like almost any story, I'm an immediate skeptic of.
You remember that?
I think I've been proven right here recently, just on a press conference today. But anyway,
boy, that is a weird situation.
It's a weird situation, ain't no doubt.
So you guys remember when the DMV was only at like that one place in Alabaster? Everybody had to go, and there was like a line out the door. Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's a place in Pelham I used to go.
Pelham, yeah. Would you
So
rather?
is that where you did your driver's test?
I did my driver's test like downtown.
Or is that where you got your license or your plate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you rather go to the dentist or DMV when it's completely crowded?
Dentist.
With smartphones now, I'd go DMV.
I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound crazy. I don't hate it when they do the little probe on my gums. I kind of like that.
I'll take it back. I'll go dentist. It's cheaper.
Yeah, everybody in the room's looking at me like I'm crazy. All y'all got some weird things about you too. I even said it up front. I know it's going to sound crazy. I'm probably the only one, but I don't mind it when they do that. Kind of feels good to me.
What about when you go to the proctologist, the urologist?
I've never been to a proctologist.
Wow, you've never been checked?
Yeah, I've been checked on that Cologuard deal.
That's when you shit in a box, right?
That is correct, Lance. That is an accurate representation.
Any reason, the reason I bring up the DMV, North Carolina's Department of Division of Motor Vehicles wants to reduce the amount of in-person visits people make to their office. It might mean getting some paperwork handed right next to the produce section. Now, summer in the DMV's busiest season, they say here, but there's also a shortage of workers, and the department says not enough people are utilizing online services. All of this is causing these long wait lines, so they have decided to put DMVs in some grocery stores.
Kind of a weird spot for it, but I'm sure we could do it more efficiently.
Yeah, they went on to say we're launching later this week, the first of our kiosk. This means people won't have to physically come to the DMV. Well, you physically got to come to the kiosk.
Yeah, but you're going to be at the grocery store anyway. You're getting a bag of plums and a
six-pack of Bud Light.
Six-pack and my license plate. I'll take all those things, please. Thank you.
People in Hong Kong should stare at smokers disapprovingly as part of efforts to create a tobacco-free city.
Just shake your head. Dunaway, you would be good at this. You're good at a disapproving staring head shake. Yep. Yeah, you do it all the time. Like when you're really good at it, Dunaway is big on this. Like when he's driving and somebody's like not paying attention or they're swerving.
I do this. Wait.
Yeah.
I'm better in the passenger.
Yeah. Oh,
when you pass in the left, I go.
Yeah.
We went to that.
I've been driving with Dunaway, and he'll lean across me, looking at like the person next to us, give him that look of disapproval.
I give him one of these too.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll throw his hands up. Yeah.
But I never see smokers anymore. But we went to dinner at that sushi place the other night, and when I walked out, there was like 4 people that were out there smoking.
Were they Asian?
One maybe a little bit.
Were they
maybe
Spanish?
A little Tiger Woodish.
Were they Spanish?
No, there were 2
any
Americans.
Were they French?
No, it was like a Latino.
I think if you'll do your research,
European cultures and Asian cultures.
Yeah, Rockstar, back me up on this. I think the Asian cultures are heavy smokers. Are they not, Rockstar?
And was it a sushi restaurant? So it must have been a good sushi restaurant if Asians were eating there.
Yeah, well, if there were a lot of Asian people there, I would say the sushi's probably good.
I told you it was the sushi was some of the best I've had.
See, there you go. Y'all make fun of me
I
for
had
saying
heard
this, but it's true.
The people I were with, 2 different people said, I love the smell of smoke. And I'm like, who likes the smell of smoke?
I like the smell of smoke. I don't like cigarette smoke.
Didn't you break up with a girl because she was smoking?
Yeah. Dawn.
Yeah. Was she the one that paddled in?
No, I paddled in.
Okay.
Because I don't swim. So getting my little cooler in my inner tube, I had to go.
You showed her.
It was a 2 inner tube back to the land because I had my foot under this inner tube with my little cooler in it.
Yeah.
And she's like, come back, JR. I was JR back then. That's what they called me. Come back, JR. And I was like,
nope, you're a smoker.
Didn't even look back.
Just kept paddling.
But then I had to get my cooler out, put up the 2 inner tubes, and then storm off into my Sunbird
Sunbird.
My yellow sunbird.
Isn't Hong Kong the most populated city in the world? Am I right?
I don't think so.
I would go New
Anyway,
Delhi.
it's up
I think it's
there.
New Delhi.
I'd go
India.
New Delhi.
Yeah.
It's in the top 10.
New
But
Delhi, by the way, very smoky as well. Usually pollution, but still.
Yeah.
I thought Hong Kong did this as like population control. I thought they.
Well, that's
wanted
why I
people to
ask
smoke.
about that. Yeah, I
that
think it's
makes
encouraged
sense.
sometimes. Yep.
Any Canadians outside there smoking?
If you've ever gone on vacation expecting everything to go the way you hoped it would, you may be a little too familiar with the disappointment felt by Professor David Holtz, who eagerly awaited vacation. It went awry when he arrived at his Airbnb in the United Kingdom, only to discover that his bed was actually bunk beds. No, I'm kidding. It was actually the bed was located in the bathroom.
Was it his own private bathroom or was it a community bathroom?
David Holtz got to the Airbnb. The entire space available to him was one large bathroom toilet, and they had put a bed actually in the bathroom.
Oh, I would call that a hostel.
I think you're right.
Now, the tweet that he sent out has gained more than 12.5 million views. While he thought something was a little suspicious about the holiday rental when booking it, he noticed a bunch of absent reviews, and he's reached out to the owner, and he has not gotten a request. I would be calling the credit card and canceling.
Yeah, I think I would do the same. I mean, if it's a community bathroom, that's awful. If it's your own bathroom, at least you control things. But I would not want it either way. I'm with Lance and the doctor, the good doctor on this. I like the smell of cigarette smoke just a little bit.
When the dentist is prying your gums?
No. On a college, this sounds crazy, but a college football Saturday on a big SEC game, you can smell cigarette smoke and bourbon in the air together. That's a good smell. It's a good college football smell.
I like the bourbon. I'll leave the cigarette smell.
I'll go cigar and
that too. Yeah.
But I like smoke. I like people burning leaves, campfires. I like the smoke.
Oh, I do too.
That
Yeah.
kind of smoke.
No, I like that too.
Fireplace in the fall when you're out for a crisp walk with your
Have you
special
guys
someone.
back to the dentist?
Maybe
I
a Frenchman.
had a bunch of cavities as a kid, so I spent a lot of time getting drilled on.
Me too.
And you can smell the burn.
It's awful. Yeah, I do not like that.
Yeah. It's the way that lady's rib when the
That was the worst thing. I never minded the shot. I didn't like being numbed up.
Yeah.
The shot didn't bother me as a kid. It was the drilling.
There is one kind of smoke you smell a lot on Broadway now. I mean, I walked up Broadway last week.
I smelled it at bar last night.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Tell us about Mortgage Right again.
Yeah, are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every single step of the process. Visit their locations, Highway 280 in Birmingham, Parkway Drive in Leeds. You can apply at mortgageright.com/TNR or call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
One more segment to go. Brown's about to tell us about A+. Here's our A+ stat of the day, okay? You have, not really a stat, it's a fact. You have the Dodgers and Yankees, obvious, right? In the Ohtani game, right? Seattle, possibility of getting Ohtani in a trade. He lives there in the offseason the last 2 years, loves it there, said nice things about the city during the All-Star break. And the fourth team that they're saying is a possibility as a 1 year rental, or basically a half-year rental,
Atlanta Braves,
the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, really?
They would have no chance of ever signing him. They don't have that much money, but just for 1 year to that lineup. Dodgers and Yankees probably going to be his landing spot, so why not go there? If you want to be a Seattle Mariner, that's probably their best chance of getting him there this year. He likes it, and they're able to make an offer. And then there's Tampa, which I don't think is a real shot.
I don't think so.
I think it's interesting that Tampa, for the first time ever, is in the mix for a big-time free agent.
I'd hate to have to pitch for the guy if I'm Boston or New York playing at home with those short porches. Right? Oof.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if you're tired of your old, outdated shower or maybe your kitchen, you need to call my man, Brad Bell, A+ Towel Home Remodeling. He's been to my house to redo my master bath. He's been to Lance's house to redo his master bath. He's going to do Lance's kitchen as well. Tyler's showing you before and afters, if you're watching this on video, of my master bath. Wasn't awful. Was not awful, just not what we wanted. We wanted it a little bit darker. So we gave him our vision. He came up with a plan. It was fantastic. We found Brad Bell because my wife scoured the internet looking for the best person possible. Brad Bell was that guy. I am so glad we selected him. His work was incredible. His crews did good, clean, timely, efficient work. And we absolutely love the result. Lance is happy with his as well. And so happy that Lance is going to get him to do his kitchen also. When you sell your home, Master Bath and Kitchens, where you're going to make it back. Tyler's showing you some photos of Lance's bathroom as well. You can get in touch with my man Brad Bell anywhere in Alabama. 205-422-1758. Get him to come out and quote your job. You'll be blown away, I promise you. 205-422-1758. That's Brad Bell, A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling. If you missed any of that, reach out to me. I'll connect you with Brad.
Leonard Fournette working out with the New England Patriots yesterday. Maybe Lombardi Leonard ends up there in New England after winning one in Tampa. When we come back, one more segment, I'll ask these guys what they learned today about the SEC they didn't know before today. That's in the final segment coming up on TNR.
Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
The next round is live in Nashville, bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Follow along on all of our social media accounts and subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. Our Media Days coverage is brought to you by Wayne's Pest Control, Champies, Tommy James Law, and Johnston RV.
For 50 years, our friends at Wayne's have been doing things around your house that you don't have time to do. Warm weather is coming. You want that lawn looking great. You want mosquitoes not around. Our friends at Wayne's, they can help you out. Right now, they will do $50 off for each of those services to continue to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Again, our friends at Wayne's, they take care of all of us here on the next round. You don't want those mosquitoes. You want the lawn looking great. Call them today, 866-WAYNES1 or call Waynes.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
If you have water or fire damage to your home or business, DryTech is here to help. They work for the customer, not the insurance company. They respond quickly, within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They have 5 crews ready to go 24/7, built to go on the job when it happens. DryTech has 65-star Google reviews, so call DryTech, not the insurance company. Find more online at mydrytech.com. Make this a sweet southern summer with a new or used RV from Johnston RV Center. With locations in Coleman and Decatur, they now have new travel trailers starting at just $139 per month. You can also find the lowest prices on fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. There's something for everyone. Johnston RV Center also offers a military discount and lifetime warranty for all new and used campers 2 years old or newer. For more information, visit their website at johnstonrvcenter.com or I-65 exit 304 in Coleman and 334 in Decatur.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
We're live in Nashville this week bringing you SEC Media Days thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Be sure to tune in on our social accounts so you don't miss a thing. Also brought to you by Moore's Marinades and Wing Sauces, Precision Sports Medicine, Michelson Laser Vision, and Woodbridge Wines.
Our Hemphill final question of the day, the thing we may have learned today, or at least this week, as we ask more and more SEC coaches, is how long will it take for us to feel the presence of Bobby Petrino in the league again? That after LT tells us about Hemphill.
Our friends at Hemphill Services offering 0% for 60 months for qualified customers, plus free 10-year labor warranty when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. Again, their team could service all makes and models. They are an independent Train dealer. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. Hard to stop a Train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
All right, a few minutes left here to talk about that. Bobby Petrino back in the league. How long does it take for us to feel the presence of Bobby Petrino? Quick reaction from you first, Ryan.
I was ready for the one thing I learned.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
We got 7 whole minutes here. Will you let me drive the show and you just react? Give me a reaction.
Bobby Petrino back in the league. How long until we feel the presence of Bobby Petrino?
I think it's the Miami game. I think it's the Miami game week 2. Texas A&M on the road at Miami. That is a game they, in all likelihood, should have lost last year. Miami went up and down the field on them. That's got more to do with defense. But on the road at Miami, I mean, that's just kind of, I don't know if it's going to be a particularly hostile environment. I guess it's early in the year. Miami should have a win, so there ought to be a decent crowd there. I just think, when you go on the road against Power 5 teams, generally that's a tough thing to do. And especially when you were a 5-7 team last year, I think it's easier to do at home than it is on the road. So take it on the road. Let me see what he does at Miami. And if they struggle there, they got big issues.
I agree. I think it's going to be against Miami. And and if they do lose that game, which is obviously a very losable game.
Well, they should have lost it last year at home.
And you got to think that Tyler Van Dyke will bounce back. Cristobal's got at least things going in the right direction in year 2. But if you lose that game, you've got Alabama and Tennessee before the middle of October.
Yeah,
so you can
trouble.
easily have 3 losses by mid-October.
Yeah.
So the president's going to be felt pretty early in a positive way, though, you guys think, right? Not negative.
So. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. No, I would not. You're high on him. You're high on Wegman.
I'm high on Bobby Petrino, too. He can call plays.
I don't disagree with you. Is Bobby Petrino going to be allowed to do exactly what he wants to do?
I know Jimbo's stubborn and he's got an ego, but if you're going to hire Bobby Petrino, they had to have the conversation. Yep. Hey, look, I'm not coming in unless it's my offense.
But I agree with what one of our guests was saying earlier this week. I could see it being one of those Gus Malzahn type things where Rhett Lashley would call half a game and Gus would call half a game. Rhett would call the whole game. Gus would call the whole game. I could see that happening. I mean, you tell me if early on they don't struggle a little bit on offense, how difficult is that going to be for Petrino, for Fisher not to just take back over?
MyBookie.ag bringing you to the show. We appreciate them so much. All of our coverage here from Nashville. What'd you learn today, Brownie?
I learned that this talk about Tommy Reese being more dedicated to the run, I think, is true and not just fiction. I think it is fact and not just.
I like that. That's funny.
Well, why did you chuckle?
You learned that today, that it's more true than just fiction.
Yeah, from talking
to those of us that tell the story.
No, from J.C. Latham that plays on the football team, Jim, that sat right there in that chair and talked about how much more dedicated his team is to lining up and winning the line of scrimmage and running the football. I don't pay attention to you media types. I listen to the people that play the game. And J.C. Latham is an Alabama offensive lineman.
I'm sorry, I didn't have my new what are they called? The pumps.
Your kicks.
My pumps, whatever
what are they called?
Dunks.
His dunks.
My dunks.
We had a dude sitting in that chair right there talking ball.
Yeah.
And I know you're off your game a little bit today, but you missed what he said.
I'm not off my game. I mean, I told you earlier, these shoes are coming off right afterwards, and they're being tagged and sent to the Hall of Fame because this is my flu game. This has been my flu game.
What is tomorrow?
Did you say the same?
Lance had the Nashville flu.
Yeah,
I think you're over it though. You look revived.
It's hard for me to be worn down from a night like that. It's more the exhaustion, sleep deprivation.
Let me ask the question the way Dunaway wants to ask it. Lance, what did you learn in the very limited time you were actually here today?
I wouldn't have said that at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jim wouldn't have said it that way.
At all. I may have thought it, but I wouldn't have said it.
I'm out networking, man.
I know.
I heard that.
Yeah,
that
Lance took one for the team last
I think
night.
that was told to me early this morning.
All right.
You took one for the team last night.
I honestly thought that was the plan, but apparently it wasn't.
You were at the epicenter of the most fun in Nashville last night, taking one for the team. That was good.
Apparently, no cell service.
Why was there no cell service?
Oh, I don't know. I just assumed there wasn't. I didn't get any response.
By the way, I've got no vibration or ring ever on.
Yeah.
And I was in conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I responded to everybody.
The stickers that you have in your hand there.
Where are those going?
To every bar I go into tonight.
We're going to sticker up every bar?
Yep.
And can we get one in every bar on Broadway, you think?
Nope.
All right. Why not?
You know how long that would take?
Huh?
You know how long that would take?
As long as it takes to walk down Broadway.
Is tonight the night you're doing your bar crawl?
I got voted down.
By who? I would have voted yes.
I had some other team members say it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
What did the content queen say? I was getting a tattoo.
Content queen said
a bar crawl comes off in a shower. Well, tattoos forever.
Well, our buddy Richard Holland, he's the guy that mapped it out. He had me 120 stops.
Right.
and it was mapped out over 24 hours.
Yeah,
120 bars in 24 hours.
I think
you got to have a drink at 120 bars
right.
24 hours.
In 24 hours, we've got a large portion of that 24 hours dedicated to being here working, which is probably why.
But what we talked about is when we go off the air tomorrow at 5, I start at 5 and I go till 5 on Friday.
Oh. Well, let me know how that turns out.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because got shot down.
Yeah.
But who's they that shot this down? I want to know. I want to know who they are.
What about that's like 6 months ago? 6 months ago, I got shot down.
Yeah, I thought that was a different bar crawl you were going to do. You're always bringing bar crawls to the meetings.
It's the only one, only one I've ever talked about. We had it on Trash on the Table. Now we'll say Guinness. We reached out to Guinness, and Guinness was going to charge us $30,000,
which is insane.
Cash grab.
We are back tomorrow 2 Central again. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America. Thank you for joining us.
Jim Dunaway,